To the spoon to get your information. To the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon, spoon, spoon television.
When you know, if the children crying for starvation, just don't spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, don't spoon. You want to know what is happening, moreover, don't spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just don't spoon. You want to know what's happening in the ministry, don't spoon. To spoon. To spoon. You from Funjama, Maryland, to spoon. To spoon. If you eat keep on congratulate my brother, to spoon. You got a spoon TV, you got a spoon radio, to spoon. To spoon. Rastafari. Kilibaba, 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 kilibaba. What I want? Yes, I do, but today,
Spoon TV. Spoon.
yes, I do, but today.
Spoon TV. Spoon.
Stand with the spoon, and your boy right at the south and back. Charges on the beat.
To the spoon to get your information. To the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon, spoon, spoon television. Spoon, spoon, spoon radio station.
Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon you will know. If the children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening, moreover, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what's happening in the ministry, to spoon. To spoon. To spoon. You from Funjama, Maryland, to spoon. To spoon. If you eat keep on congratulate my brother, to spoon. You got a spoon TV, you got a spoon radio, to spoon. To spoon. Rastafari. Kilibaba, 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 kilibaba. What I want? Yes, I do, but today.
Spoon TV. Spoon.
Yes, I do, but today.
Spoon TV. Spoon.
Spoon.
Spoon TV, Spoon Entertainment.
Kua, 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 kua.
On the spoon to get your information. On the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon, spoon, spoon television. Spoon, spoon, spoon radio station.
Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia.
Monrovia,
Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa.
Africa.
Just to
Well, folks,
Spoon you know.
welcome to another edition
The children crying for
of the biggest thing that takes place on radio, TV, and online at about this time
to Spoon.
in Liberia.
You want to
Spoon Talk.
happening in Monrovia to Spoon.
We're live on Spoon 107.5 FM,
To make their decision just to Spoon.
Fabric 101.1 FM.
Spoon to get your information.
We're also live on Super TV,
On the spoon to be part
Super 95.5 FM.
spoon, spoon,
Live on YouTube, plus our other social media platforms as well.
spoon.
My name is Aaron Kuban. I'm your sound producer for tonight's edition of the program. And as usual, it promises to be very fascinating.
In Liberia.
And I can just say good evening and welcome to it. Let me now go across the table and welcome, not across the table, but across the world, two different continents at the same time. James is in Europe, and Dr. Richardson is in North America, right?
Yes, yes,
Yeah. Welcome.
yes. Uh, how you guys are doing? You're crossing the Atlantic Ocean.
Yes.
To, yep, and you can see, isn't technology beautiful? You get to see James Goodday and myself. You get to speak to us. Technology is just beautiful, right?
Indeed, there's a magic of technology. First, we used to say the magic of radio. You sit all the way, in one village somewhere in Liberia or maybe in one of the counties, and you listen to the radio, and the person is sitting right, where I am, and you listen to the person. We say that's the magic of radio. But now the internet has made that magic even more, amazing, and it seems miraculous sometimes when you see what the white man has done, to do all of these things. When I say white man, I'm not talking about the color. People, Jim.
No, but this is the witchcraft. All the other witchcraft that we got out in our country, I wish we could develop this kind of
Yeah.
witchcraft. I had a Ghanaian teacher when I was in uh, middle school in Liberia, and he used to tell us at that time the apartheid was raging in South Africa. The white South Africans were just, denouncing the black South African, treating them really badly, not giving them equal homes, and so he kept on saying, "Oh, the witchcraft we got in Africa. Why we can't attack those people with our witchcraft?" And apartheid is going on for all these years, and he had me thinking, and coming back to today with all of our. Every day we're going to the villages, the people judging flowers of witchcraft, king last night flew on someone broom to eat somebody
Mm.
child. But yeah, we are here, the people using their witchcraft to make technology and all of that stuff. So, but here it is. It's another day of Spoon TV. That's just what this reminded me of. Aaron, you here today? Kev will be on today.
Yeah. So, get my man. Yeah.
I know. You got a new haircut, I can tell.
Yeah.
Okay, I can tell from looking. James, what's going on in Europe? Where's my chocolate?
Everything going on here fine.
Okay, my Christmas on you too. Yeah, Aaron, yesterday my Christmas. I told Nelson and Good day my Christmas on there.
Yeah. The people can say we'll look for it.
Man,
We'll look for it.
They won't know they're looking for you.
And then, yeah, and then you see the person are looking for your Christmas.
That's a good one over there. That's a
Yeah.
very good one. Be looking for our
Something
Christmas.
playing in the back.
Not
From
from my
where?
end. Everything's turned off over here.
Okay, it's okay.
Is that
It's okay.
you?
Yeah, it came from me.
Okay. All right.
President Weah was calling my phone.
Well, here in
Okay.
DC, they don't call you to
Calling
go
your phone to do
inside the
what?
hall or outside the hall. So, what is the news today? What's going on? I was listening to another podcast right before we came on, and this person was telling us that they put him out of the hall. He went to go, hear what the president was saying, and he got put out of the hall. So, James, I don't know if they were calling you to go there so you can be in the hall to broadcast for in the hall or not. I don't know if
Ah,
you.
but who is the person that said to put them out of the hall?
Okay, I was saying the link so you can see it.
What was the president intent?
Is it the town meeting, the town hall meeting, or the main conference?
I believe it was. I don't know which one. I know the town hall. I believe it was the town hall that it was. That was
But
open to
has
the
the town
person.
hall started?
The person in 10 was their Liberian.
Has the town hall started?
I really
When
don't
when
know.
is
I
the,
didn't
when is the
follow
town
it.
hall meeting?
Yeah, we got to look at it from all
But
perspectives.
I'm going to send you, James. I'm sending you the link right now. The person perhaps is on, and I'm sure we'll probably go into it as panelists. I was just doing work and having background noise, and they came on and saying that they were kicked out of the meeting. Now I don't know how many meetings they were having today, whether they were having a mean town hall meeting or certain meetings. I have no idea. I didn't intend to follow all of that, but I believe that once you are Liberian, you are entitled to have access to your president if he is speaking in a public setting.
Yeah, so that's the report we getting, and I think it's a town hall meeting. Uh, there are some information that coming in. I think there's a town hall meeting. But you asked what trending. You remember the last time we were talking about the former president of the Liberia Bank for Development and Investment (LBDI),
Mm-hmm.
the gentleman that resigned his post due to uh, fake credentials he submitted to
Mm-hmm.
members of the board of LBDI that lured them into appointing him as president of the board. And so the Front Page Africa newspaper is reporting that the head of the uh, IMF in Liberia here is recommending his reinstatement in a letter, or there should be someone else appointed. But he's speaking from the point that this man was carrying on a major audit of domestic loans, people who took loan from the bank and they don't want to play a major audit of the bank's record and books, what's going on at the time his resignation came in, a forceful resignation. And he believes that in the interest of the audit is either the previous individual, which is Dio Delani, can be reinstated, or someone new, takes the position. But the change of the leadership should not be the reason that this audit will be stopped. But when you look at the publication, I think he was mostly expressing sadness over the fact that this brother was made to resign at this point, when in fact he has already taken on major critical reforms, especially the audit of the books. But what he did not mention, I did not see in the publication from Front Page Africa, is the issue of his credentials that came on questioning. He did not mention that. So that's one of it. The next thing from
So, wait,
the
so Aaron, before you go on, just one clarification. Did you say the head of the IMF in Liberia.
Yeah, Liberia representative.
Yes, or the Liberia representation
Yeah,
is
yeah.
asking for the reinstatement of Mr. Deal.
Yes, or another person. That's a publication. Another person be instated in the position, or they'll be reinstated. Because if you
Oh,
read the
okay. So
letter,
there
he
were
said
two
the
persons.
previous individual should be reinstated. He clearly stated, if you read the article, he clearly stated that a major reform was ongoing at the institution, and
Mm-hmm.
at the time for this person, to be made to resign his position at this critical time, James,
Yeah.
it was something that was very much important. So yeah,
All right.
so
All right.
yeah, so it's something. So we recognize some other individuals, but they
Yeah. So that is
uh,
it. Yeah.
yes, yeah, it's very much important. Yeah.
Okay.
Those are discussions that are very much important to talk about. But I think the panelists will expand more on it. The panelists will expand more on it when the CEO and the team comes. I mean, come on to discuss it. But the another trending issue that the CPP protests, I mean, rally, they're very keen on the choice of words. That you should
Now
not
rally
say
back.
protest,
Now
you should say
protest
rally.
rather. Now protest. They're scared to say
That
protest.
it's a rally on a hash tune.
Now protest.
No, it's a rally that comes with a hash tune, and so that's the
So
reason
how do
why
you
many people are
differentiate a rally on
mischaracterized it.
tune versus a rally, James?
Now
It, it,
now
it-
protest.
How do you differentiate a protest from a rally, and the way you're saying, James, like that this is a protest? You just want me to talk to this, so I'm not even going there with you, okay? Right? Eh, eh, era, don't follow James. So James, no, you know you on.
yeah, so I know I was just saying it's a rally, but it's a rally with a hash tune. Yeah,
But what was
so
hash? Something hash happened today again.
yeah, so no, they're going around sharing flyers, sharing handbills for the rally, and there's a press conference that is expected to be held on tomorrow to announce more people who have endorsed it, including
It's
the
the
how
S
you call
the
the
S
ex
rebels.
combatants and ex rebels as well.
Yeah, it's very inclusive. It sounds like to me we are not excluding
Oh,
marginalized citizens of Liberia. That's what it sounds like to me. And it sounds like they're going around making announcements and encouraging Liberians who are tired suffering to be there. They give them an outlet to express their views and their feelings in multiple ways. Some people express their feelings by talking, some people express their feeling by singing, some people express their feeling by engaging in physical motions like dancing and stuff like that. So it sounds like that rally going to be composed of all of those different outlets, which I think would be a great thing, as opposed to you know um, other types of rallies that we have had or protests that we have had in the country.
Yeah,
yeah.
so according to the organizers, they are expecting over 150,000, people to gather. But the question I've been asking is that
Mhm.
whether the person who is the face of this entire, rally, Mr. Alexander Cummings, whether he's a crowd puller, because we've seen several times we've done opinion polls, and he has not been someone who has raised the number. He has just been between President Weah and Joseph Yuman Boakai. So to get that huge number just for Morovia base, a Morovia base or rally is something that a lot of people stay scratching their heads over whether that is possible to get 150,000 human beings from someone who has not proven to be a major crowd puller. That's just one thing. And there's some of the individuals that beyond this rally, there's not been people who have actually pulled crowds when it comes to the number in Liberia, except for a few of them.
So the issue about Iraq, uh, Cummings is not noted for uh, bringing large audience together. The last time we saw a very large audience from Mr. Cummings was in 2017 during the launch of his campaign. we saw a very large crowd, and, and since then, Cummings crowd politics has decreased drastically.
How do
And
you measure that, sir?
I think I should learn. After learning, you can ask me.
No. I don't want us to get lost in the story. So as we say that somebody crowd have decreased as evidenced by XYZ. So that's why I want to know, how do we measure somebody crowd has decreased? So but moving right along, the first, Aaron, you said that Mr. Cummings is the face of the rally, but there's so many people. I think Mr. Cummings is a part. James, you ready to come back? Okay, go ahead.
Yes, I said since 2017, Cummings crowd politics has decreased drastically,
as evidenced
by so many political rally or political events he
for
organized.
example.
Example,
I'm grading people here. I mean, I have.
Jesus being seriously hijacked.
Example,
No, I
the
like what
relaunch.
in a classroom talk facts. He knows that he in school.
I'm giving you facts.
There are people like that.
Yeah, let's begin with the return of Mr. Cummings. That was also being that is, he collaborated with the Half Liberty Party. Covered that event. We did not really see that crowd.
100,000 people to go to the airport.
And no, it did not just continue to the airport. There was publicity throughout Monrovia and its environs. They went all over. And at the end of the day, we saw minute portion of Cummings support base. The next one was the relaunch of the CPP, when it was announced that it was going to be one of the greatest political events in the history of the CPP, between Liberty Party and the ANC. And again, we attended that event. We did not see good 4,000 people. Less than 1,000 people attended that event. I covered that event also in Monrovia.
I call that.
Yes, the party headquarters. Cummings party headquarters is like a backyard. I'm talking about his what's the place name? Kelly Junction party headquarters. Yeah. The party headquarters at Kelly Junction. We did not really see that crowd. So many events that Cummings been organizing throughout Liberia. We have not been seeing the crowd compared to GNB, George, President Weah. The last time we saw Weah at the CDC headquarters, we had a very big crowd, very big one. So I think
it's interesting. I was in Liberia for.
Even CEO, let me speak.
Stanton, welcome. Yeah. How are you doing?
Heather Richardson don't want to talk to me. That's okay.
CEO.
How you doing?
She doesn't want to talk to me. Don't push her. That's okay.
We made it.
She stay mad. No problem.
No, I'm not mad.
She mad from yesterday. But a shout out to my mother-in-law, Kluba Mobile, for the celebrating a wonderful birthday today. Let me get out of the way because the discussion would be powerful. We're gonna do that again at the end. But shout out to Kluba Mobile.
We'll sing the happy birthday song.
We'll sing the happy birthday song. Matthew Johnson Jr., good evening, sir. Man, what's going on? Asumanability, what's going on? Project left for us to call their name though. George Widow, what's up, man? I hope you're in DC, Georgie. Dr. Richardson, what's happening for your end? You vest like hell. Since yesterday, you didn't say hi to your brother all day. You stay mad. No problem.
Today's a new day.
I'll say ask you the same question. Why come it's running to be president? I know you're not doing your homework, so you can't want to answer. But it's not important. It's not important. Today it's not comments. Today it's about George Manawia and his address to Who the job we are talking to?
Let's go back to no. Let's clarify before you move.
They cannot
That
do
was
my
not
own
the
thing.
question that you
Can I?
asked me.
Can I?
Okay, that was that you are pinning something else on me that was
No,
quite.
no. I see your question, which was very fair.
And I asked you to go ask
And
some comments, and then you started
and
giving
you
me
and
the narrative that
you decided not to answer. You sent me the Mr. Comments.
correct. Because I know you.
That
I know you very well. We have worked
Francine,
together for almost what?
I said
2
that to
years now.
Francine. What Chukun saying? Look at James' face. We got problem with you, James. Chukun from us. I will black
It's not
Chukun.
qualified. He wants to talk about it.
I will black him. I will black Chukun. Yeah, but that Richard said I got no problem. Whether you know the answer since Charlie King Town, whether we're gonna have a good show today. I got all the guys coming on. Man, Christmas getting closer. My Christmas on, yo.
We'll look for it.
Yeah, Christmas getting. Listen,
Yes.
wait, Aaron. Are you feeling the Christmas in the country? Are you feeling it? You got that Christmas spirit?
Seriously, you look for it.
I think I let him, man. When I look for anything. Are you feeling? Are you getting the Christmas spirit?
I don't think there's anything different. There is
Seriously?
nothing different.
No.
Yeah.
Go down. Listen, you want to feel the Christmas spirit. Walk down Vata and Wallace. What's happening? I want you guys to go to the mall and engage the people. Ask them about the Christmas. Whether that little Christmas spirit that we usually have, and you gotta go spy in your Omar room to see whether they buy a little gun on your side or your Christmas super Chinese jacket, and to see whether they got something for you for Christmas. You got a kid, right? You got a son?
Yes.
Yeah, but at least thank God. God manning you. You got your late thing. You're gonna buy your son Christmas gift. But I think we should put together. There's a Richardson, $200 from you, from James, from Aaron. And we bless somebody on a Christmas day. But my Christmas on yo. Christmas on yo.
Dry fish, small pita pepper.
For where?
Any other things, then you can find somebody and bring it.
I beg you, they put in again. They can't send no. Nobody there to send you dry fish, get to the pita pepper.
James is still out the penalty I gave you when you're going.
Oh, you get
So
James.
you can just send it to that rejection. I gave Jim penalty.
Wait all a long time.
That I mean, you money.
To me.
That I mean, you money.
Eric,
the Christmas, I don't know. Can we feel that Richardson? Are you getting phone calls from back home? People feeling the Christmas, they're in that Christmas spirit? But it's too early. Today's the 13th.
Not feeling the Christmas, but ask me to send them something.
Yeah.
Not feeling Christmas. It's like Christmas is not like we used to enjoy it before. The Santa Claus used to come around, Omen Baker come dancing, people cooking, rice.
Yeah, then they'll be singing, Ghana say that morning boy, and say,
exactly. And then the Christmas
everybody shake your body, oh. Shake your body, oh. Then they be beating the jump. And then you just can't drop the fella out there. That's what they do. But I think the Christmas spirit, personally, we would take the Christmas spirit from America to Liberia. The president will be on his way home. The president will rejuvenate the country. Something was done this morning. I think around 9 o'clock, between 9 and 10 the president spoke. You got a statement, right? This personal speech, right? Some people say it was powerful. I had to read it again, and I listened to it again, and and we'll be discussing that which was spoken by President George Manuel. We'll also be discussing other national trending issues of the day. Today is the 13th. This day is a wonderful day because my mother-in-law, Kluber, Mobile birthday is today. You know what's up. To have a wonderful mother-in-law like that, you got to celebrate her every day. James, what's up from your end? What's happening? You're talking to yourself, James.
Okay. Nothing much. Aaron talked about it, where the IMF representative to Liberia saying they should reinstate uh, the LBDI boss who resigned or appoint new boss. And the president spoke on several issues, ranging from Liberia relationship with Africa to African leaders creating opportunities. So many things to talk about.
So, Aaron, the IMF saying that they will bring Doe back,
Because of
Delany.
yeah.
Yeah.
Is that
And
What
person
again,
a Liberian, the representative? Is that a Liberian or
what's
someone
his
with
reason? What's his reason?
foreign background?
according to him, there's a major audit of debts owed the bank ongoing that that was instituted by Delany, and he believes that that was a powerful move, and that Delany was the one holding that entire process.
So now I'm gonna pause you right there because you know we're in touch speaking to Delany that we can bring him on the show about this thing about some big shots owing the loans
Mm,
large amount of money, and they believe that Doe was going after them. So therefore, that's why the IMF was to say that now they tried they took him off, and they believe that for the investigation to go through, they must have him back. But that's two sides to every story. So
mm.
that the IMF own and the government will hear their side. But then we ask the question: who's the chairman of the board for LBDI? You know, who are the big shots owing LBDI banks? Who? Who are those that own the bank? We got the names of some of them. I was holding on to this story for the better day. But who owns LBDI Bank? And how well is Delaney fighting? Why? Why did you decide that? We're getting a feedback from somebody. Can you work on that, Aaron? James, put it back up 1 minute, please. And we need to understand who have taken the money from the bank. If you look on this paper, with the exception of Ambassador McCarthy and other folks here, there's a reason why the pictures are out. If you read the front page newspaper, you will understand, who owned LBDI Bank. And we have the story. So I want to wait for the guys. They're going to come on and we're going to discuss who actually borrowed from LBDI. How much did they borrow? It's very, very important to talk about this story. So we just cannot talk. Central Bank of Liberia warns delinquent borrowers, says they are at risk of being barred from accessing banking services. So somebody, some group of big names, owing the bank, and they are walking freely. They are happy that they can walk. They have taken the money and invested the money or used it to their own will and pleasure, but here we are. Somebody have to be the sacrificial lamb. So I want us to pause a little bit, James. I want us to hold on to that story till the appropriate time. So, but this is big. LBDR is draining, and somebody have taken the money. Government official, non-government official. We have some names, and we'll be putting out those names pretty soon. Thank you, James. Let's take it down. Dr. Richardson, what's your thought on this story? It's not our big story for the day, but what's your thought? You have muted, Dr. Richardson.
So it will be important for us to wait and see how the story unfolds when we get some additional data about people who are owning the bank, especially the big shots. And then we can talk about the legitimacy of them owing the Liberian bank. As far as the Delaney, I'm curious to know if the IMF representative is a Liberian or a foreign citizen, and I'm curious to know why he thinks. And I think I heard from either you, Aaron, that he should be reinstated or replaced by somebody else. I'm curious to know more details about that. It just sounds like after you allegedly um, perpetuate somebody else's identity or either engage in plagiarism, that's a big crime to me, especially if you work in a bank or anywhere else for that matter. So I think I'd like to hear more about why they would want to reinstate somebody who was involved in plagiarism or stealing somebody else's identity. So once we get enough information about that story, we will be glad to discuss it. I'll be glad to engage. I'll be reading up and following up on it.
That's exactly what we need to. Who baby crying? That's exactly what we need to actually look into the story and pause for a bit because it is important for us to. But that's a big story, though. That's a big story. Something about this IMF recommendation request should be looked into. Uh, Tonight, actually, we were talking about the town hall, and also we were speaking concerning the issue with the president's speech today. Dr. Richardson, did you listen to the president's speech?
I listened to it maybe partially halfway down, and please excuse me, my grandbaby is making some noise in the background, so you hear him in the background. Um, I listened to it. Um, First, did you want us to go into it, or you want me to you want us to go into it?
Yeah. Let's go into it. Let's go into it.
Okay, so I obviously quickly looked at it. I looked at the surrounding. I noticed there were two things on the podium on the stage. First was a teleprompter, which I saw the president was not using, and then I saw a podium, which I thought was interesting. That's a lot about where our country is in terms of technology. That a teleprompter was on the stage but was being unused. I thought the president made significant improvement in his reading. He read whatever that was presented to him very well. However, I thought that considering that it was something that he knew that he was going to do, like he was going to give a speech, he should have practiced, his voice tone, his different transitioning in topics, be more charismatic or enthusiastic about what he was saying, which is different from you just reading something. Reading something and speaking is different. So I thought he would have worked on that more. So that's just a brief observation of what I saw, non-verbal things. In terms of verbal things, the president spoke a lot of little flowery, what I consider flowery terms, rhetorical things without any substance. One of the things I noted him talking about was how we needed the youth in Liberia to develop Liberia. And he talked about how we have a lot of majority of the people in Liberia, the population of Liberia consists of many young people. But I didn't hear him give any action plan. Like, this is what I'm doing for the youth. These are my plan. This is what Liberia has done. I didn't quite get that. And then I heard him say something about how he passed the dual citizen law. Once again, he fell short on telling us, I passed the law, but then what happens next? Are these people going to be able to exercise the constitutional right to vote? Are these citizens have mechanism where they can have an office at the Department of Commerce to engage in the economy of our country? Didn't hear any plan or action. And then lastly, I heard him say, I own many businesses in the country. I invested in businesses. And then I was like, where are these businesses now? How did they contribute numerically or any other way to the economy of Liberia? So all of those things, I think it was flowery. The speech was flowery, but very and filled on substances. That's all, and which is very typical of President Leah. He's very good at talking and saying words, but then he tends to fill in terms of delivery of the substance. I like to see things. So that's what I observed.
Wow, Sentiment and George, thank you for coming to the rescue because that's what Dr. Richardson observed. As the president spoke about signing the dual citizenship law, the power of the African diaspora, Liberia relationship with America. Diaspora Liberians are important to our nation building process. African diaspora should be innovative. Young people in Africa should be given opportunity. African government must create an environment for African diaspora to contribute to the development of Africa. A lot more. I would dare that to say it was flowery. Welcome to the show, Central George. What say you? Let's have this conversation. I know the rest of the guys coming on. It's going to be a big show, but let's talk about. Let's start on the a very low tone today, Central. Just what you make of the president speech today?
Well, good afternoon, good evening to everyone, wherever you are. Uh, I listened to the president's speech attentively, and I thought the president delivered a very good speech. I thought he highlighted some of the important things of his administration. He spoke directly to the diaspora, Liberians in the diaspora, what his government may able to accomplish for them, especially the issue about the dual citizenship, that once a Liberian, always a Liberian. That was a powerful line speech, and his delivery was well. Uh, and he talked about the African unity, about African, the importance of African young folks in Africa, African leaders, and especially so when he was introduced by U.S. Secretary of State Blinken. And I thought, and mention of his son was important, and I think wherever you want to say it, Team Weah performance on the U.S. national team and playing did his father's administration some good. At least the U.S. government recognized that it's his son that played for the team and scored, and they share that moment. At least that moment happened with him. But overall, President Weah did what he was supposed to do at that conference. He gave a very good speech, and I think he did himself well and the country well.
Let's just we want to say we are glad to be joined by so many people. We'll be discussing some very serious issue. But I would say to you, Truman and George, Dr. Richardson, I feel with myself. I think President George Manawea did extremely well, and I think he have elevated his international performance. What was done today, I can only say and hope it should be done all the time. The manner in which he addressed the dignitaries that show forth and to listen to him when he speak about Africa and Liberia in particular, I think he did extremely well. I think the president spoke about Liberia relationship with America. No one can do that better than President George Manawea, and I think he did extremely well on that. Listen, say what you want to say. Let's just cut to the chase. That was excellent. That was excellent to the point that when he said the power of the African diaspora, now you can have your own issue. Now you can have your cherry picking game. But I told someone today, Dr. Richardson, after listening and reading the speech, I told someone, I said, why President we are always hold back on these great moments? These things make him to shine. And I think he has elevated the Liberian American relationship to a new height. Why President Weah sat there and allowed folks to lobby on his behalf? He could have done it all by himself. People will say, well, diplomacy are different things. This is a different terrain. But give this to him though. I don't know why. Maybe because of team we are goal, but I don't think it is. I think it added to that, but I think the president did extremely well. So Dr. Richardson going back and from an opposition's point, uh, I understand that you would criticize some of the instances moving forward. That's your right to do so. Uh, but I will also say that he served Liberia well in this the capacity, and these have elevated the conversation. And, as number one in foreign policy, he did extremely well representing the country. But talk to us. You want to say something?
So um, I said that the president improved on his delivery in terms of speaking, reading. When I look back a couple of years ago, the president's reading ability wasn't as improved as I saw it today. So that's a positive thing. I'm not here to just base my analysis on liking. I'm basing it on what people look for when someone presents a speech that they worked on before and they know that they were going to give. I'm not talking about our impromptu speaking here on Spoon, which is a very it's different because this is not scripted, this is not planned. So we are just on the top of our feet. So it's very different in the way that we speak. So I was looking for a president who command the stage, command people in his voice, in his tone of voice. Okay, in a way that in a way that you can move from one topic to the other. Okay, and I was also looking for action words. When people speak about the country that they're passionate about, you would say, okay, this is what I have done for the young people. I need the young people to be very, very involved in the economy of our country. I know the young people will, be encouraged to contribute to the development of Africa, Liberia. Then you, as the president of the country, I expect you to say, this is what I have done, and this is what the young people in my country, Liberia, are doing, and this is how they are contributing. When you say that I signed in the dual citizenship bill, I expect you to say that I have created mechanisms for Liberians to return to Liberia to participate in elections, or I have asked the Liberian embassy in the United States to develop a plan for Liberians to return to the embassy here in Chicago, in DC, in New York, to be able to vote for the person of their choice, contributing to the democracy of Liberia and the democracy of Africa. I didn't hear those things. All I heard was, these flowery different things. And if you guys heard something different, if you heard plans that you can tell me about, I think one of the last thing I heard you talk about, I invested in Liberia. I didn't hear him name. I think he named one company or one business he invested in. Where is that business today? I expect him to say, I opened this factory in Liberia, and this is how the factory is employing 10, 12, 14, 15, 16 persons in Liberia right now. If you're going to go there, that's what I expect him to say, you know. Or I'm creating pathways for the young people in Liberia to contribute to our economy. I did not hear those plans. How long are we going to be accepting of somebody spoke well, somebody was flamboyant, somebody gather the crowd? How long are we going to hear that? When are we going to get to the substance of issues, the action issues? So that's my issue.
So I think that's what Rich is saying. Now, there's a reason why those summits and programs and forums are had. You don't go there to have a 2-3 hours giving reasons and what you have done, giving your country developmental plans to African leaders. They care less about everything, and they are speaking on a time limit. Dr. Rich is saying. You expect a person to have to go over there and say, well, I built or invisible park. You expect a person to have to go over there and say, I paid children's school fees.
No.
Hundreds. You expect a person to have to go over there and say, We build the low-fi travel-free highway. You expect the President Weah to give the people the State of the Nation address. Is that what you wanted him to do? To report to other African countries, to report to Joe Biden and say, this is what I'm doing, and this is what I have done for the past 5 years in my country? Was that your expectation?
You asking me, is that a question or rhetorical question?
You cannot come to that point. That the president must stand in front of world, hold on, Dr. Richardson. The president must stand in front of world leaders to say, oh, January 24th, 2023, the State of the Nation address, Republic of Liberia, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Pro Tem, Madam Vice President. Is that what you want? Then wait for next year, January 24th. Then I think he will give you the State of the Nation address. Now, what's the purpose of this summit? Can we just go and find the reason why Joseph R. Biden called on African leaders? It's also Joe Biden now is the king. Now every African country come and report to me. Is that Dr. Richardson? Come on, just help us, man. Help us here.
Let me help you.
I believe that you can. I believe that you're too smart for this, though.
No,
for you to come out,
right.
to say the president should give the State of the Nation address. The State of Liberia address.
I'll be quiet.
To Bill and other African president and Joe Biden and say, Mr. King, Joe Biden, I brought you a report from the dark continent of Africa, my country, Liberia. These are what I have accomplished. Seriously? No, man, don't do this to us.
Okay, I'm glad that we see things differently. And yes, you're right. As a very smart woman who have lived in this country for a long time, the United States government do not live on flowery and rhetorical speeches. They expect us in our development process to be able to link our policies to actions. That's what they expect from us. They want us to show receipts and evidence. When you go purchase a home in this country, what do they ask you for? Show me your previous bank statements, right? When you go buy something of value in this country, don't they check your bank accounts? They are asking for evidence. So when these presidents come here, you can combine a very good speech would have not only be charismatic, but it would have combined substance and rhetorical and flowery information. It would have linked policies to action. And it wouldn't be a State of the Union speech. He spoke for, I believe, 15 minutes. I think when I was reading, I stopped for 10, 12 minutes or so when I was listening. Okay. He could have done that. So yes, we expect at this age, Liberia's age, and in this world, we expect evidence. We want receipts when people speak, because for so long, our leaders have been speaking in a rhetorical fashion. Nobody wants that anymore. People want to see substance. What are you doing with the money that you came here to beg us for? The money that we have given you.
So Dr. Richardson, now you're asking President Weah to take receipt to Joe Biden.
I think I'm using receipts in a very...
No, Dr. Richardson, I'm sorry. I am laughing with you, not at you. Please forgive me. Are you
laughing? I'm laughing because there's a slang that the kids use these days that you may not be familiar with. They call that the evidence. I hear my daughter saying that.
So are you not telling? Are you not telling President Weah?
That's what I'm saying. That's what it means.
Are you not telling President Weah to take receipt to Joe?
No, but Stanton, you get it. You keeping up with a young children. And I, your daughter, they start when they talk. They say, "Mommy, show me receipts." They say, "Show me practical receipts." They say, "Show me."
So are you not telling President Weah? Are you okay? So what are you asking for? Let me help you, because the other guys then coming on. I really want to move on. I want to be firing tonight, and But what are you asking for? What were your expectation that the president on the speech? Because the speech, we got it. It's here.
Please
The
send
president, listen to this.
actually, please put
Listen
it
to this.
in a box. It's in a chat room.
It's in the chat room. I put it in the chat
Okay,
room.
good.
Yeah,
You can
I did.
dissect it. Let's go
I
line by
put it in the
line.
chat room. The president, such as democracy, human rights, global peace and security. Listen to what he said. Liberia has a long and historical relationship with the United States. And you
True.
know that is true.
That's true. Everybody knows
Which
that.
has led us to having common position on issues such as democracy, right? Human rights, global peace and security. Now, I will pause. Is there anything missing? Thank you for joining us, coming back into Money George. I'm laughing at Dr. Richardson because it looked like Dr. Richardson wanted President George, by the way, to go hail the King Joe Biden and say, these are all my reports from 5 years, having served going to 6 years. So Dr. Richardson wanted that American should now make Joe Biden the king of Africa. That every African president should report to him. No. Dr. Richardson, this is wrong.
You bad? How you can just be
This is wrong. We are talking about the president within less than 10, 20 minutes, come and speak and talk about the issues and leave. And exactly that's what he did. Look at the first paragraph. Human rights, global peace and security. We hold the view that, excuse me?
I don't see the speech in the chat room.
Mama is there. Let me go back and put it there.
I it was in.
Thank you. Thank you. So listen to this now. I know you didn't see it, so you just, political engagement that will serve the reinforcement of our genuine commitment to democracy, human rights, transparency, and good governance.
Let's talk about that.
Dr. Richardson, I will bring in Sintumani George. Sintumani, help me help my sister. Though sometimes, and I like what somebody said, you cannot be an opposition all the time. Sometimes remove the opposition hat and serve the Liberian people right. What was done today, if you're telling the president to come to the United States and show receipt and hold those other presidents on a hostage because you wanted President Weah to tell them how they're building RIA, how they're building the Lofa Highway, how we talk about electricity, paying children school fee, then you are mistaken, Dr. Richardson, because I think it would be only good. The president summarized his speech in less than 4 sheets of paper. Powerful. You talk about teleprompter. Guess what? To each his own. You can use teleprompter. You can read from the paper. So what? What is written? What you heard? That's what matters. So tomorrow, Josh, I'm confused with my sister today, man. Can you help me?
Well, like you said earlier, this summit has a very specific specific.
I'm gonna tell your daughter to be quiet, man. Please, man.
Frankie, be quiet now. They have a very specific this tone to discuss about in the summit. But like I said, what he was asked to do with the time that he was allotted, he spoke in that time frame and gave the important thing he said was about one of the things he said our brothers and sisters in the diaspora are indispensable partners in the development aspirations of our various countries. We must welcome them, we must embrace them, we must recognize them. Africans in the diaspora and Africans in Africa are one people. He got an applause for that. But honestly, you may be opposed to him, you may like him, you don't like him, but you got to give him the kudos for what he did today in his speech, what he was told to do. He did it. And he also mentioned he also talked about his humble beginning, about coming from the slums of Gibraltar, and he managed through hard work to with discipline and determination to climb the top of his career as a professional soccer player. So he did it, and he talked about it. He encouraged Africans, especially the ones in the diaspora, to he acknowledged the importance and the role they play in the development of African continent, the various countries. And so he did that, and I think he did what he needed to do, and within that time frame, and we should give him the pat on the back. But again, that's one aspect of it, and diplomacy goes a lot of way. And for now, this is an African moment. You can't invite a man to your home and then you try to embarrass the man. So Biden invited African leaders here. and you expect them to give a lot of talk about the positive things about the relationship between Africa and America, respective of the various countries. So yeah, they talk about the long-standing relations between Liberia and America, and that President Weah have kept the peace, and they continue to flourish. The relationship continue to flourish. So let us give him the kudos, getting the pat on the back for this speech he did.
I think, you know what, I can go up and down to, you know, be this president, but I would say this. Let's listen to some of the clips. And maybe Dr. Richardson will understand and follow through.
Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Liberia has a long and historic relationship with the United States, which has led us to having common positions on issues such as democracy, human rights, global peace and security. We hold the views that this summit will strengthen our partnership and increase our commitment to foster strong cooperation in seeking the broad interests of our respective countries, in particular, and the world at large. Liberia believes that such engagement between Africa and the United States will improve and strengthen bilateral and multilateral relationships, foster peace and security on the continent of Africa.
Oh, Eugene is with us. Eugene Fagon. Thank you for sneaking in. So, tomorrow, he laid this one out. We got all the clips. What was the problem about not using a teleprompter? Who cares? Does that matter?
It was his prerogative. They are left with which one he felt comfortable with.
Exactly.
He gave me a speech.
They make us see well. What's the answer to using a teleprompter? Let's go to the substance of the speech. With millions of African descendants and immigrants in the diaspora, there is no doubt that this is a vast reservoir of talent, training, expertise, and financial capacity, which must and should be utilized to enhance the advancement and development of our continent. Where have we gone wrong in that paragraph, Dr. Richardson? But let me bring in my brother Eugene. Let's give him a little time to introduce himself. Minister Fagon. You're muted, Minister. You got to unmute.
Thank you for having me, and good evening to Dr. Francine and my friend and brother Tourmaline George. I need no introduction to the Liberian people. They know me already, but let me greet them. Let me send a shout out to the peace-loving people of Liberia, all of those listening under the sound of my voice. I say good evening to all of you, and it's wonderful. I was watching the football game, so I'm a little bit late because I wanted to see what, Argentina had to offer today that was kind of different. That if my Moroccan team meet them, on Sunday, what would we have to do, to kind of get rid of them? So I had to take my time and go out and do that. But however, you're talking about this speech, and I'm sure you want me to comment on that. When the president says there are millions of African descendants and immigrants in the diaspora, for me, I know it was the African Summit, but I think as president of the Republic of Liberia, the oldest independent African country, if you like, the one that has the most caps with the United States, the one that the United States has the deed purchased and has a deed right now in the Library of Congress, the one that has the same pledge of allegiance except for one country under God, the one that has the same flag except for one star in the blue field, and then it was 50 stars in the blue field then, all right? You miss an opportunity to remind the Americans that you appreciate an African summit, but there can be no real African summit without the due recognition of the country that America settled in, purchased, or paid for. and literally colonized. Be able to say the pledge and say the pledge of the United States. Show the people the flag and show the flag of the United States. Tell them that your capital city is named after President James Monroe. Tell them that all of your streets, tell them that your constitution is modeled after their constitution. Tell them where the flag was designed and made. Tell them where the Constitution was written at Harvard. Remind them that in calling for an African summit, that summit must begin with Liberia. In order to prove to Africa that America is ready, America must begin with the land they purchased and mounted their flag with the one star in the middle, signifying the one state that was outside of North America. Remind them that you have to do better with the country whose constitution was written at Harvard. Remind them that they have to do better with the flag that was designed in Maryland. Remind them that the capital city is named after President James Monroe, and that there are former colonies like Edina, Mississippi, and Lexington still languishing in Africa. The president missed an opportunity to remind America that an African summit is necessary, but it begins with where in Africa they settle and build the machinery that they do have today. Under the canopy of slavery, let me not continue because I can flow on this topic until next year. I respectfully submit the president missed an opportunity to connect Liberia with the United States and ensure that he reminds America that to have a successful African summit, you must begin with Liberia and showcase that little country. Thank you very much.
Thank you for submitting, but I think, I do believe, with everything you just said so passionately, that you are missing an opportunity. I will go back to you, Honorable Franklin. Maybe we'll come from different area tonight.
Yeah.
I think American Joe Biden needs no introduction, no reminder about American relationship to Liberia. I think folks that attended this morning program, they need no reminder or understanding about the Liberia and American relationship.
Mm-hmm.
I believe you're just doing all this as a bluff. Because if Aaron, but hold on, my dear brother. If even you were writing my speech for this summit, or you were writing President George Manawia's speech, and you include those things, I would say send Eugene home.
Okay.
I will ask the president to send Eugene home.
Good.
Let me ask you a question. Because I'm speaking with you.
So I can say why.
Hold on now.
No, I say ask your question so I can tell you what I would say when you say Eugene.
Yeah, hold on now. Let me ask you a question. I want you to help Liberians to know what was the purpose of this forum, this program.
I can tell you when you're ready.
No, Dr. Richardson, you are not Dr. Eugene Fagon. You are Dr. Francine Chinwe Richardson. I beg you.
But why if she wants to help me, you say no? Why
then you attempt to her, because we got to move.
Well, if you say you ask me a question, and you say I can help, then you say no, she might not help.
Turn it over to the good doctor. Just tell her, please go ahead. I mean, we all doing the show equally. I'm asking you a question because you come in with all the historical points, like
because
you need to remind Joe Biden and the rest of them the reason why America have that special title, Liberia. Come on, man. We are not in the civic class.
Wait.
Nah, there you go.
We are not in a civic class. But you want us to look at who cares about teleprompter? What was this? All that when you bring in, who cares?
It came about because your sister, Dr. Richardson, brought it up. That's why I'm trying to just downplay.
What was the purpose of this summit? You're looking at issues on the continent and the relationship between Africa and the North American country called the United States. You want to promote global peace, fight corruption and other things. You're looking at youthful and young leadership. That's why he focused on the young people and said that if they can
Didn't
give
he
them
follow
a space.
through on? Didn't he follow through on what was the main theme of this forum?
That's why I'm
Didn't
saying.
he follow through?
No, wait now. If
Thank you.
follow the president's speech, I don't care about young or the other one. Why the president started his speech with, quote, Liberia has a long and historic relationship with the United States. Why did he start that? You know why? Because he wanted it to sink in that we were not one of the countries that they called to come and lecture. That's exactly why. And if you want an African and an American summit, then you got to look at Africa in the context of the fact that you've been there longer than any other country. So let me tell you,
make it short, that Fagon. Make it short. You going exactly to what I am holding you on.
Talking, nobody can humble you.
Yeah, but Fagon, you are all over the place, my brother. You beat your own President Weah. Of course, I'm not here.
You want to take me off course.
You telling President Weah, saying talk about Bushwa Island, talk about the Mayflower, talk about Lexington, talk about Yanni Pepe. For
you
what?
You can't take me off
Come
course.
on, man.
I'm being their business long. You will not take me off
No,
course.
talk to us. Make
That's
your
what
point.
I want to do. You keep interrupting me, but you can't take me off course. I'm quoting President Weah. Human rights, global peace, and security. We hold the view. He's talking about Liberia. At the end of the day, you want the world and America to realize that when you talk about these things, look at little Liberia. Look at little Liberia, whose constitution was written here at Harvard, flag designed in Maryland, capital city named after President James Monroe. You want to remind them that if you will have to do these things to accomplish it, my brother, start with the country.
You are telling President we have to put coconut on the sheet because of Bushwa Island. You are telling President we have to talk about Mayflower ship. Come on, man.
Come
That's
on.
ludicrous.
No, it's you.
Let's move ahead. That's a Richardson play, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. We're all serious now. We're all serious that Honorable Fagon. We're all serious that Honorable Fagon. That Kalu right there, man. Don't do that.
Hold the forum to hold your one view. But
don't do that. But yeah, go ahead. I'm not stopping you. I'm not stopping you. Yeah.
Why you don't let me land?
Go ahead.
This is what President Weah said when he said we. Maybe you're not Liberian. He said, and I'm quoting him.
Yeah, I'm from both of the
We hold the view that this summit will strengthen our partnership and increase our commitment to foster stronger cooperation in seeking the broad interests of our respective countries, in particular, and the world stage. Why do you think he said that? Why do you think he said that?
Is your 10 second up?
It's exactly why I'm closing on this note. He missed the opportunity to remind this great nation that the whole African summit thing you're talking about, really, if you want to prove something, prove it in a small country that you got all the things I name above to you. Do something. And that's why I said the president missed the opportunity to remind America that the African summit is important, but what is more important, come back to your step children, that you're not dumb. That's my point, and I'm sticking to it.
You, as always. But I will say to you, Minister Fagon, if you were one of those writing the president's speech, I will ask for time off and kick you to the restaurant for
you.
You
go into the place 8 o'clock tonight.
Look at you can laugh.
You go in at 8 o'clock tonight. You just put money ball outside.
Dr. Richardson, go ahead. You see, let me tell you something. This is just simple. The president came in an environment to just, Dr. Richardson now tell the president, say, please show the receipt or how you buy palm oil to send to America. Show Joe Biden that receipt. Can't report to Joe Biden. But make your point, Sister Richardson. Go ahead.
Yeah, there's two things I want to clarify. First of all, it's a slang. When children these days use the word receipt, I keep on repeating myself. They're not talking about receipt as in receipt as you and I know it. It's a generational slang, like they're asking you for evidence. Number two, the purpose of the summit was to demonstrate the United States' enduring commitment to Africa. So when
And
Mr. Gone talk about some historical interaction between the United States, such as our foundation, he is actually telling the president, this is how you demonstrate the United States enduring commitment to Africa,
you
particularly.
can commit to small country like
But the
Africa.
time is up, Mr. Fagon. We will yield to the lady to speak.
And,
Well,
and,
I'm a
then,
sister.
and then the
You
summit,
always
it
been
goes on to
against
say
us.
the purpose of the summit, number two, will underscore the importance of U.S. Africa relations and increased cooperation on shared global priorities.
Yep.
So like for example, decreasing COVID, global warming, climate change, those are all shared global priorities. Okay. And so how do we do that? We do that by also attaching or speaking about some of the things the United States have done for us and the improvements that we have made, some of the commitment they have made to us, and what have we done in response to that commitment they have made to us. And that's my point that I'm trying to make here. I could go on.
Can I ask you a question, Dr. Richardson? Can I please? Then we'll go to
I hope it's a good question. It's not one of those questions.
Oh.
Yeah, one of those questions, trust me, I can bet on it. Yeah, the president spoke to the United Nations, he did it, then he got to Global Summit, American Summit, and he said,
Dr. Richardson, let me ask you a question. I beg you.
Mexico aid to the whole
But Eugene Fagon, this way, before that is out, because what the president did this morning was one of his best. And I think because of what was done this morning, the president has elevated the level of the Liberia-American relationship. And I dared and double dare anyone in this government. If President George Managua wasn't president today, guess what happened? He make a damn good foreign minister in negotiating and breaking the tie because of what was done today. What was done today? And you want the president to no, who brought the ban in? I don't like to see this guy when I'm talking, man. Yeah, I don't let to see the guy when I'm talking for real. But let me deal with the people, man. Thank you, man. Don't guys come like this.
You let us see.
Okay, let me just say this. On a seriously, listen, you can have listen. Y'all know I can beat on the president anytime. I can correct the president if his people are in error. But today was one of his best, and even congressmen and women are celebrating the relationship. Somebody said, "Till we are gold." Unique position, unique strength.
Don't put him
and that team. No, I beg you, but man, you keep on the show late by backing you back. You keep on the show late. So, but I always say though, you can stay on your position. No. Fagon said you can remain on your position, and folks can say let the want to say because of what they think. But this is personal. For the 8 days out of the country, President Ware at the end of his trip, he scored a good point. And I hope he can ride this on. I didn't like the fact that he stayed for the 8 days. But at the end of this trip, what he did this morning, that was a damn good thing. And let me go to Timon and George.
Can I just
but come in, our sister, come in.
I was interrupted.
But you were done though. You wasn't interrupted.
I was interrupted by you asking me, can I ask you a question? The president concluded his speech by saying Africa will make the difference in tackling the most urgent challenges and seizing the opportunity we all face. Did he tell us the how that he was going to do this? Did he tell us how is he doing that?
But you say asking for Dr. Richardson, that's your mistake here today. I will say this, I will be very blunt with you. When you speak into nations and you are given 10 minutes or 20 minutes, you do not ask for how in every little thing to put details. You do not. Less than 10 minutes. I will say this to you, look at what is here. Three. You want him to put how?
Let me say this.
No. Dr. Richardson.
No.
You talk about good governance. You say how.
This
You
is how
talk
I'm
about
gonna
you
have,
you,
gonna
talk,
have
you
this
talk
problem.
about
When I
you,
want
you
to talk, he said, no.
but
That's
Dr. Richardson though.
You see that? No, 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 no.
yeah.
No, 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 no. You see it?
Dr. Richardson, you talk about good governance. You say how? Global peace. How? Security. How? Social and political engagement. How? Economy. How? President, we need to take 2 days to speak to the world leaders there.
No,
But
he doesn't.
that brings us into
A very,
Chairman.
very good. I don't want to use the word, a very excellent speechwriter who have been able to integrate the rhetoric information and the substance information. He will be able to have a good balance between flowery and substance and action. In this case, this speech was very flowery. It failed on action and substance. And I keep on telling you, and you keep on saying, no. It will take 2 or 3 days.
No, the man he put him with here right here.
He coming. He coming to do that one very soon. Okay?
Money. Let's leave our sister small. Let she take, and I will read this to you, Timothy George. Purpose of the summit. 1. The summit will demonstrate the United States enduring commitment to Africa, to the continent. All right? And will underscore the importance of U.S.-Africa relations and increase cooperation on shared global priorities. There's other way, President Weah can come and make the Liberian case. Just stop joking. This was one of President Weah's best. Sentiment and George, talk to us.
I repeat, let us not forget the purpose of this summit was the United States reset the relationship with Africa, because they realized that Russia and China have been having similar meetings with African countries. And America said in 2014, in fact, President Obama said, look, we should not forget Africa, because the world population, 10% of that population will be from the African continent. We'll be very careful. Russia and China are dominating Africa. We must pay attention to Africa. So America decided to have this meeting to reset the relationship with Africa and African countries, with the continent and the countries in Africa. So one of the importance of this meeting. So I think they did. That's why they gave the leaders the area to speak on, and President Weah did what he needed to do. So he spoke about the issues in his country as president with the diaspora, and also about the U.S. and Liberia relationship. Like I would differ with my brother using, the Americans don't really know exactly all about that stuff. He talked about the historical ties, the historical context between Liberia and America.
That's why I said remind.
You know it. So the time allocated to the president, he couldn't have said all that.
Amen. If I was there, you just bring out Tabata, I would say home. So
America main goal was to see, look, let it be seen that we engage in Africa. And mind you, they have committed $55 billion for the next 3 years to the African continent from this engagement. So all the country will benefit from that money, $55 billion.
Challenge first.
That's a different topic.
You see.
Right now we're talking about America
move the goalpost.
African continent. But again, it was just for this moment, and I will just focus on this moment, this summit.
Let's focus on this summit.
Thing, but other issues involving Liberia and America and so forth. I mean, it's no secret. You think Anthony Blinken is not aware, body not aware that 5 officials on sanction? They're aware of it. They know that they will have put on sanction for allegation of corruption. They know that, but they are focused on the African continent. So they brought in the entire continent.
And I want to go back to you real quick. You said how much was out of this summit? How much?
Well, from what I'm seeing, it's $55 billion. Yeah, economic and security and health investment in Africa for the next 3 years.
And go back into money, and we'll bring in Chairman Ban. The summit will demonstrate the United States enduring commitment to Africa and will underscore the importance of U.S.-African relationship and increase cooperation on shared global priorities. These are aids into money your door. Yeah. So let me bring in Chairman Ban. Chairman Ben, man, something about this that we are talking about. I know Fagon will be Fagon. I'm not taking him serious because I understand his position. But on a very, very global, serious note, I think President Weah delivered. He came for that purpose to the United States, and I think he did extremely well this morning. What say you?
Well, thank you. Thank you. It's good to be here again. And what do you mean you're not taking Fagon serious?
I'm not saying that the president will talk about coconut on Bushel Island, Lexington, Palm Tree, where all the wood come from, Crusoeville, Dana, in Grand Bassa. Come on, man.
Let's look at it this way.
That may even be the president's speech.
Couple of things. I think Tomlin said something that was very pointed. What's the intent of this summit? Let's retrospect a little bit as far as what George Weah attempted to achieve, and did he achieve it? One, George Weah is heading into a very contentious election in his country. There was a perception leading up to this summit that he was bordering on bad relations with the U.S. He had top officials of his government, being sanctioned. But I will say this before I answer the question of whether he delivered or not. I would say, and I'd like to borrow what Tommy said, I think if anybody George Weah needs to be very grateful to today, is Timothy Weah. I think Timothy Weah did for his father what no lobbyist had been able to do. He was able to score a diplomatic victory for him. People may take it for granted, but these things, there are nuances when you look at it from a diplomatic lens and a political lens. It was not by mistake, I believe, that they chose George Weah to be the first speaker. They understood that the Americans don't do anything that they don't plan, and it's not choreographed. They understood that Tony Blinken was going to be the one opening the summit. The summit. And in essence, he was going to be the one introducing the president of Liberia. And they felt that it was important that the last two paragraphs were to highlight some of the things that, tying the Timothy Weah thing to the history and the relationship with Liberia. On the issue of whether he delivered, I think he did what he did what he was supposed to do. I will slightly say though, that I slightly, not 100%, but I slightly agree with what Fagon said, that I thought there was an opportunity there for him to remind, because he was speaking to the next generation of African leaders, the diaspora. Remember this, the theme was about the young people, young leaders. He probably should have also just injected something in there. I think that's where his speechwriters would have done some, that's why his speechwriter would have done him some justice. Inject something in there to remind the people of how far, not necessarily speaking to the American policymakers, but to the African diaspora, how important, because I think Ghana has stolen that thunder from us with the year of the return that they had. So I think George Weah could have mounted the podium today and would have said, hey, listen, remember, we are the big boys in the room. But generally, I think he did what he set out to do. I think it was a good day for him. I think it was a good day for the country. And I think we're going to be watching now to see what's going to happen over the next couple of days in the summit. We're going to be watching to see what's going to happen over the next couple of days in the summit. But I definitely think that he accomplished what he set out to accomplish. And I agree with you, Stanton, that that's where I have my disagreement with Dr. Richardson, because I don't think this speech today was supposed to be hard on substance. I think this speech today was supposed to be fluffy, and I think that's what it was. But also sending out a message that I'm the president of the America's stepchild. So overall, I give him kudos, and I think he did what he set out to do.
Okay, thank you very much.
Ben, I kind of like the way how you tend to appreciate the president's ability. But in this case, I think you have to understand American policy, all right? American will be, commending you in terms of your son's soccer ability, but having different expectations from you. And I said a combination of fluffiness, floweriness, and action. I didn't say it should be 100% all substance. And a good speechwriter, an excellent speechwriter will do that. When American people like to see, again, I use the word receipt, they like to see evidence. We are not there yet. United States, British, Great Britain, Russia, they can tell us flowery things. They are world leaders. Right now, we are seeking money and we are seeking attention, we are asking. So when we ask, we must be able to show what we've done with what they've given us. And that is what a good speech writer, a good presentation would have looked like to me. This is where we are in our country. We just came out of an allegation of this United States telling us that we are corrupt. We were here to make a case to say, yes, indeed, you have said that we are corrupt. You have sanctioned some of our leaders, but we can make a difference. We would take our advice that the youth in Africa can make a difference. And this is how we have done our study for them to make a difference in our country. And this is what we are doing. We have a commerce department that will welcome our youth to contribute to our economic. We have vocational programs, okay, as an example. In fact, President President Obama did a very great job how he would sometimes use somebody in his speech as an example. He would say, look at Mr. XYZ. Our president could have done that. Said, look at Ben Savvy, a young man from Liberia. See what he's doing today. This is what we've done with the money. But none of that was done. He talked about,
can I respond to Dr. Richardson?
He talked about African youth being the next people who will develop Africa. And they just left us hanging. He talked about how he signed the dual citizen bill. All he could have said was, my government is in the planning process of allowing external citizens to go over to the local embassy to participate in the voting process, exercising their constitutional right. It took me a few seconds to say that. That is all he could have done.
But Dr. Richardson, and let me say, let me respectfully disagree with you again. I think what you're asking for, I think Stanton alluded to it earlier. You're asking for a policy speech. George Weah wasn't set up to give a policy speech today.
What kind of speech was he set up to give?
I didn't interrupt you now. I didn't interrupt you.
No, because I don't want to lose my train of thought here. So we come over here and we say, George Weah was set up to do X, Y, Z. What was the purpose of the summit? Who tells us what kind of speech he was supposed to give?
Dr. Richardson, let me give you a news flash. Dr. Richardson, let me give you a news flash. When you are invited to these summits, you are giving topics.
Come on, man. It's right there as the purpose of this forum.
There's specific that you are expected to say. Listen, let me say this, Dr. Richardson. Today, 2023 was not in that room. And I think that's some of the mistakes that we make, and we tend to sway away. I will say this. The president today was not supposed to go and outline what the breakdown of a dual citizenship bill meant. He was highlighting that because he was speaking to the diaspora. That, hey, my government has done something that we have not been able to do in 100 and something years. We've been able to pass a dual citizenship bill. I agree with you. What needs to happen needs to happen. But I don't think that was the forum today for it. All of what you are saying is fine. What we're talking about here, you talk about President Obama using examples. President Obama, when he's using example, is either his State of the Nation address, the State of the Union, or is at a program that has a specific context on what he's speaking about. I think what George Weah, and it's okay, Dr. Richardson, once in a while, that we as members of the opposition, and it makes us look attractive, by the way, that we say, you know what, he did what he set out to do, but this is where we go.
Yeah.
So I remind you again, yes. I think in the end, what happened today was not a policy dump. It should not have been a policy dump because you have other presidents in our room. I think Mara Bio were there. There were other people who were there. Gregory Meeks, all of these people. There was a whole program. I think we just want to watch his speech.
So let me say this, Ben. Dr. Richardson won President Weah to come and say hail the king and get a full report because now Liberia is not a sovereign state.
Santa, I think
but you do your talking now. Let me talk now. Then you can come in later.
To represent me appropriately. Yeah. I don't want you to.
But I said Dr. Richardson though.
But you said I want to say you want to hear the king. You know I'm not about hearing no kind of king.
But let me make my point now, please. It is important, Ben. I will agree with you. This is something that within certain time frame, maybe 15 minutes. Go out there, do your thing, and get away. You are not going to give report to the African
It's like going to
leaders.
speak to the UN.
Yes,
What
you
you
are
get
not going
5
to give,
minutes?
and that's the bottom line. But listen, I'm sorry to my sister. This one, I think she's off. I think what the president did today was beautiful. It fell within the context of what they called him to do. And now the continent Africa is getting enough resources that they will be able to move a long way when you talk about peace and security, when you talk about global issues, the priorities of Africa. Come on, this is big. Don't you think that Joe Biden know what Liberia going through concerning Liberia? This was not about Joe. I can't tell about Liberia. Let's bring in the Honorable Fagon and we
And
can move on to
actually,
different
before
conversation.
Mr. Falcon come on, I want to add, let's just say that we agree to disagree respectfully, okay? Because I think when we come here and say that this is about opposition speaking, I think that's the wrong message we're sending. It's not. It is my own personal observation. I'm not coming from an opposition
But
perspective.
you're a member of the opposition. There's nothing wrong with that.
Okay, Ben Sanvi, okay. Let me finish speaking because when you were speaking, when I interrupted you, asked me to let you finish speaking. But in this case, whether I'm an opposition or not, I'm just telling you my observation and I'm giving you facts to back up my observation. Number two, there's this assumption that you are making about what a speech is supposed to be like when it's at the UN or when it's at a summit. Okay, you are giving certain latitude when you're giving a speech. Nobody tells you, say X, Y, Z, make it all rhetorical or not. No. Okay, I'm telling you, it would have served Liberia well had our president attached some action, some implementation. Just use a few examples as opposed to making his speech predominantly flowery or just predominantly rhetorical. That's what I'm saying. And again, I'm going to respectfully disagree with you guys.
We're gonna bring in. Thank you. That's a special 2 days in a row. It's not easy. The Honorable Fagon.
You know why I remain silent? We can agree to disagree. We can disagree to agree. I'm going to quote the president so those of you who trying to talk your tabata can stand by and think. In this speech, the president purposely, and I want you to learn that saying you don't even want to look at the speech, address the young diaspora leaders of Africa. Meaning, truthfully, what the summit was about. Y'all were talking, I didn't talk. The president said, and I'm quoting him, I'm not quoting you who gave your opinion here. He said, and I quote,
It is often said in Africa that young people are our future leaders. But I have observed that not much opportunities are created to allow them to reach their full potential.
They should enable us to redefine, I'm quoting him again, and reset
But we were just playing the Fagon.
our urgent priorities in economic, social, let me talk, and political engagements that will serve as the reinforcement of our genuine commitment to democracy, human rights, transparency, and good government. That Japan he was talking about. Our Liberia.
Well, what's the point, though? I'm trying to understand.
No, the point now is what? Don't interrupt me. You are talking. I'm talking.
No, I'm not interrupting you. I'm just asking you.
The point here is when we say you miss an opportunity to remind America that when the African men say, when you say that man rich, let me see you cheering. You want all this from the summit, but let's see the little country called Liberia, whose deed, when you bought the land, is right now at the Library of Congress. Let's see that little country you're talking about, all the sweet tea, whose constitution was written at Harvard, whose flag was designed in Maryland, whose capital city is named after James Monroe. 200 years of our partnership and bicentennial only saw the representative of the United States to the United Nations to come to a country who's 200 years. I didn't say go give speech on policy or what. You should have reminded the United States that all you say about Africa can simply be brought or be started now with the small country called Liberia. You want to talk about Africa?
That only Liberia there, that only Liberia they call.
My brother, you want to interrupt me again? You are talking about U.S.
I'm
Liberia.
move on there.
No. Dr. Francine. No.
Go ahead, right.
Stanton. Y'all do that two ship communicating on the sea. But the point I'm trying to make is this. When you are invited to a summit, you were invited as the president of the Republic of Liberia, or else the people would have called Stanton. The people invited the president of the Republic of Liberia, His Excellency President George Weah, to an African summit, meaning you are part of Africa. So you are going to talk about Africa, the continent, but in particular, you have to reference your country and remind the Americans that, look, man, in the whole of Africa, this is your only child. You want to talk about Africa? That's fine. You've done a good job. But let's look at the country. So putting a spin on it and talking about delivery and other things, I don't think he had a bad speech. I just thought he missed an opportunity to remind the United States, or if you like, the host of the summit. What happened to Bicentennial? What happened to the 200 years of the return of the slaves to that particular place in Africa? What happened to it? Or because Ledger who then ate it, the journalists then money and chakla the rest of the money, and the whole program that was supposed to last for a whole year is a mess. My brother, we are trying to say here, I don't think the president did a bad thing, but those who wrote the speech should have placed Liberia in a position to allow other African leaders to say, we see your attempt to help Africa. But yeah, your own baby, where you born? Yeah, your own baby who learned the deal you bought, everything with you. Look at it today. It is the fourth poorest country and maybe the poorest country now in the world. We're not seeing you making a difference in the lives of those people and that country. And that would have shaped a different and new kind of debate in that hall. But again, it was a summit. I did not say Mada Bio, Ben. I did not say Paul Kagame. I did not say Ramaphosa. I said my president missed an opportunity to remind the United States of their real true commitment to a tiny country they bought and gave independence, not independence, and gave statehood to. I'm one of those who refuse to accept that America recognized and granted us independence. I refuse to accept that. Until now, our deep is still at Congress. Our Constitution is only being modified or somehow. Our flag remains the same. Our pledge remains the same. What are you talking about? I know one day America will come by and they will take on to the state, just like Puerto Rico. Mark what I tell you today. It shall happen in the next generations to come.
And I think because we have to move on, I will ask the folks watching us to please forgive our dear brother Eugene Lamy Fagon.
Now you don't go pray for.
I think, because, my man, you said no more interrupt you. I think I will ask the folks. I will ask the tens of thousands of folks watching and listening to us to please forgive our brother Eugene Lamy Fagon. This summit, this program, whatever way you may call it, it's not the Liberia and America come back home relationship.
My man, why you reading the comments, though?
And it is important for us to understand from where you sit. This was one of the beautiful moments of George Manuel Weah. And I think, based on what he said today, committing himself to remain within the confine of the program, he did extremely well. And I do believe, moving forward, if he should visit America again, to talk about Liberia and advocate for the interests of Liberia, not on global interests like Africa, he will make that case equally. I think Mr. Fagon, like everybody know Mr. Fagon, going deep down into the historical relationship we have with America. He can talk about Lexington, where I came from, Indiana, Grand Bassa, Western Tumani of that Peabody here from. He can talk about all those different areas. We understand. Talk about Bushu Island, how many coconut tree we get in. Talk about Kenya. That person where I come to America to talk about Kenya. Talk about Bennington, like Dr. Richardson one.
I mean, I hope you
Where I
read
show
the
the
comments. The
receipt
people
of
forgiving you.
Bennington. And, you know, and that's
forgiving you.
bye, Becky, bye. Yeah, I agree.
The person, you know what you're talking about.
Listen.
Right?
Okay, so go with the comments. Enjoy. But I would say I think Minister Fagon is in error, and I will ask you guys to forgive him. Chairman Ben, take us home, and we're gonna just wrap this thing up in the next 40 minutes. A beautiful speech, I would say that, but you take us home.
Yeah, thank you. And let me state, I don't know if you didn't listen to what I said, but I think I did say that I do concur with him a little bit, that I thought maybe an ejection should have been put in the speech where some reminder about the historical component of our relationship. But I still maintain that, you know, the forum in which he was speaking, I think he did what he set out to do. Even there was a component where he was talking about his life story, then growing up in the streets, in the slums of Gibraltar and stuff like that. That was an attempt to, you know, to highlight his story and to talk to the young people. You know, that listen, no matter what your background is, or no matter what your story, how your story started, it doesn't determine where your story is going to end. So overall, and I say this, and, you know, and I know, listen, I understand it is abnormal, it is unusual for you, for at some point someone who criticized someone to say, you know what, the person did well. That's just the way our politics go. Our politics is when you oppose a particular side, then everything they do is wrong. And if you don't, if the shoe is on your foot, then you expect it, you know, to be the other way. In the end, for me, I think that this summit, there are a couple of things that George Weah attempted to do today that I think he did. He got up there. The U.S. Secretary of State introduced him. He highlighted, in fact, there was a line in the U.S. Secretary of State statement where he said President Weah has fostered, I think, doing something. I'm missing the direct quote, but something of him being a strong supporter and a fosterer of U.S. Liberia relationship. But like Tommy said, who told you that because he said all of those things, that the challenges that U.S. Liberia relationship has had over the last couple of weeks or months does not exist? It exists, but there's nothing called a perfect relationship. I think at the end of the day, let's watch to see what happens tomorrow. Let's see how the conference progresses, and let's see what is in the pot for Liberia. Let's also see, because I think coming in, you were alluding to $55 billion, right? That is probably going to be a spread across the board. Let's see how Liberia benefits from that. I got an email today from the U.S. State Department, because I signed up for the alerts, you know, so I get most of the things when it comes from the Africa Bureau, is that there is now a Bureau for Global Health, something as a result of, and they specifically highlighted in the email, as a result of Ebola, as a result of COVID, as a result of this pandemic and stuff like that goes around. They highlighted Liberia in the conversation of the U.S. role they play in helping Liberia fight Ebola. Most of these summits, I'll tell you, in the end, there are a lot of moving pieces, and it's left with the government of Liberia to be able to do the things that needs to happen for them to be able to reap the benefits that may come out of whatever package that may be given. But I thought overall it was a good start today for the conference, and I'm going to be looking forward to seeing what happens over the next couple of weeks. Over the next couple of days.
May I have 1 minute just to conclude before we move on?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. I don't want us to leave here saying that Dr. Richardson is playing pure politics. It's not. I'm proud that the president was elected among 49 invitees, presidential invitees. He was among one of the few among the 20 presidents that were allowed to speak. That's a proud moment for Liberia. However, when we do look at speeches, we look at his colleagues. I wish we had the opportunity to play the Sierra Leonean president's speech. He said exactly how we can empower youth, how countries have been advanced by the use of African resources. But then he also went and added some substance. What is Sierra Leone doing now to empower the youth? And that's all I'm asking. And so when we try to be very, very objective here, as opposed to being subjective and playing politics, this is what we do. We compare to other peers, okay, presidential peers. And to be frank, I'm not a politician. Like, I've never been in Liberian politics. I speak objectively. I don't come here I have no string attached to anybody. So I will say what's on my mind. And that's all I wanted to say.
I don't know what you mean you have no screen attached, because you from ANC, you support Mr. Cummings, so you do have screen attached. You're speaking as an opposition, and I think it is important to note that you are taking a position as an opposition. Am I correct?
I support Mr. Cummings' agenda because I feel he is the better candidate in terms of an experience in systemic governance to carry back to our country that is missing that type of government. So I support that. However, Stanton, I am learned enough and have enough experience in living from mat to mattresses that wherever you put me in the world, I will be fine. I'm not entrenched in the Liberian politics where I have to lean one particular way forever in order to get my bread and butter. And so because I do not have that fear, I speak my mind and I speak public things attached. That's what I meant.
Thank you very much. Let's just go. Let's just go back and Sintumale, please take us home to the next conversation. We are getting information on this Doe Delany resignation, guys. I believe I shared this thing with you guys. If not, please check the chat room. We're getting this resignation. Those are owing the LBDI bank. If you guys don't want us to discuss it, we can move on and have a full discussion on it tomorrow, because something is very scary. Names of people that they are owing the bank though. Ben, you should have it. You see
Okay,
it?
I don't see it.
we reach out to him and find out whether we can get him on and discuss it tomorrow.
Okay, that's
We reach out,
Richardson. You have it, right?
when we discuss it
Can you
tomorrow.
check your
Reach out to him.
WhatsApp? Fagon, you have it, right?
Gotta look it up.
Yeah. Can we? Thank you. Ben, you have it. Tomorrow, check
Yeah,
your
I-
WhatsApp. Can we just
Yeah, I got it.
glance on it, because we are reaching out to him, Tomorrow, George. And
Yeah, so
but
we'll
let's just briefly talk about this, because this is important. These names that are coming out, the folks want to know how much are they owing LBDI, and this is actually look at front page newspaper. But delinquent borrower, people that took money from LBDI, that owe LBDI. If you guys read it, we can put the list of, I don't know whether we should put the names up. These are some heavy.
Why won't you put a name? Oh, why you afraid?
No, I'm saying whether we need to discuss it now. If I go, look at me, man, do a look that I miss so to be afraid. I'm thinking about whether we should discuss it now, because I'm saying names, politicians.
They will take this topic will take a whole show. So we'll do it tomorrow.
We should do it more.
Yeah.
There's no need we can tease on it a little bit.
But
A lot of people owing.
Almost the entire country.
the president spoke today. He'll be going to an event this evening, so we'll start to get on that issue.
Father, yeah, I agree, but I beg you, let's do this. Let's do this real quick. Let's get everybody. Dr. Peabody, check your voice up. You should have it. But Chairman, what's your thought? Look at these names. Look at this company. People are owing LBDI Bank and refusing to pay. We got to establish something here. And this is getting scary. That they will walk into the bank, take money. And the important thing here is that though Delaney was chasing these guys for the money. And we are receiving a report that's the reason why he was forced to resign. How true it is, I don't know.
So that reason why he will allow his resume.
A scary time in the country, though.
I want reason he lied resume, right?
No. That's a good question too. Somebody judge.
Now the people they was spinning the position maybe because some people running some politics, some opposition on the team, but they was out talking, bring it up.
But
So we got mixed up.
Peabody, do you have it?
Yeah, but let me ask a question.
I beg you. Yeah, Peabody, check your WhatsApp. Chairman, talk to me. Because
Okay.
we gotta go. Today's my mother-in-law birthday. I gotta go there, so I will leave from here by 6 o'clock.
So
I
let
know
me
I'll
ask
be
you a
seeing the
question.
guys later on. Go ahead.
This list that I'm looking at, it says here,
Don't
well,
call
it's
names.
delinquent.
Yeah, don't
Delinquent,
call
right.
names. Yeah.
No, I'm not calling names.
Oh,
I'm not
okay.
calling names. What I'm trying
Delinquent
to figure-
borrower list.
My brother, they said delinquent borrower. What was scared for?
No, my man.
You
I
see
want
the
us to
people
have
in
a
the
full.
country.
I want us to have a full conversation on it. I don't want to
Okay,
leave a
that's the
little
reason.
bit.
What about okay?
Yeah.
But then if you want us, but then what you brought it, or if we
That's
ready?
it. The show.
I'm calling the
But-
We don't have time for it today. We're gonna take a whole show for it.
Because it is a long list.
No.
Yeah.
Let me give everybody at least 1 minute. We still got about 30 minutes to go. I give everybody 1 minute. Dr. Richardson, starting with you. The list is up. Names, permanent political leaders. The name is here. They better go pay their money because that's why the country is suffering. We are about to put these names out. I'm afraid
I
some name on this
I don't
list.
see my name there though. It didn't say I owe the government.
Oh, man, maybe your name
But
to the last.
they
I look for your name, man. I couldn't
I
find
mean,
it.
that the first, I just want to go see my deal with that. At least so now the people can know that you know.
You owe nobody one. You pay your money. You owe nobody 1 cent. You pay. Then you owe nobody 1 cent.
So let's start with Dr. Richardson.
Ben all the government, you know, all LBDI Ben, I pay take the money from.
If I go, how sure are you know I owe the government?
My man,
Because I was holding
thank
the
you, man.
paper.
How sure are you know I owe the government? Let me ask you, how sure are you know I owe the government today? Do you know if I owe the government today?
Fago, I don't want to say that, but I don't want us to discuss Ben. But can you help us? I'm a Ben for the
You don't
government.
even know if I owe the government today.
Can we just take to the other topic, please?
Now who bring papers and I pay, sir?
No, but listen. That's why I asked the question. If I go say I owe the government, right? Now I say that because the list is exhaustive, right? It is extremely long. To be quite honest, all jokes aside, the list is very long. My question is: Are these names people who have arrangements with the bank? That you know, because
the big one they said Dr. Richardson, I beg you, you're right. They said delinquent.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay,
now.
so you can figure out whether they make some arrangement. I mean, but names that are here actually they need to pay the bank.
Yeah, but
Dr. Richardson talk to us.
But Sandra, let me say something before.
But let that talk now.
No, just 5 seconds. I just want to say something quickly.
Before you say your 5 seconds, they bank that list why you say exhausted. I can prove to you if you force me, Ben, 80% of the president delegation need on the list.
Oh my man, you're man. Tell the people here tonight. Yeah. What are you answer? You in DC? Yeah, man, come on.
But listen, something I'm not understanding. Hold on, that guys. Hold on. Let me say this. That's the only one I can say because I know I'm in position to say it. What the vice president need to do on this list?
But again, Stanton, that's what I'm asking. Stanton, I want to ask this question. And the reason I want to ask this question, I want us to understand something though. Are we making this sound? Because this is the thing that we do that sometimes, and this has nothing to do with the vice president because there's tons of people named on this list, right? Since you call her name, maybe we should call everybody else's name, right?
I'm just asking a question.
Let me say this.
Man, hold on. We gotta go to Dr. Richardson, Ben. Ask Dr. Richardson for the top. Ben, we gotta go to Dr. Richardson.
Man, just stop now. Let me get my first second. I was getting ready to say something. I was getting ready to say something, and then
we gotta go to Dr. Richardson.
My point here is,
we gotta go to Dr. Richardson.
My point here is this.
Ben, check your WhatsApp. I send one very important name to you when you see your feet.
My point here is this. Why are we trying to insinuate? And this is something we do. And I agree. If if you are delinquent, you should make arrangements with the bank to be able to pay the bank back. I agree with that, right? All I'm saying
Look, you
is,
think I don't joke? I don't joke. When I tell you, say,
Yeah,
50% of the president delegation on the list, you want me to go bring the other one in?
No, Fagron, no.
So what I
Ben
want to say
finish
is
up.
let's table this list until tomorrow when we get further information, because this is a bit too overwhelming. It's too alarming for the public. So let's table this, get some more information tomorrow. Let me study it. Let's study it, and then we'll come back and talk about it, because it's too. I'm shocked. So I want to do that.
So my caution is, this is an exhaustive list. We should not attempt to present it to the public as, yeah, they say it's delinquent, but let's get some background story on what it is. When they say delinquent, are these people who made arrangements? Maybe they fell behind on their arrangements. What is their current status? Those are the conversations that I think we need to have. But this notion, because one of the things that I'm trying to guard against, right, is there is a notion out there that, first of all, banks are there to loan people money. So there's nothing wrong with taking money from the bank. I agree that if you do take money from the bank, you should pay it back. But there are situations and circumstances that lead to people getting delinquent. And so I don't want us to, because this is not a 5% or 10% on the list. This list looks like got hundreds of people on it.
The whole country.
So that's why I'm trying to figure out what is the fulcrum of the discussion. That's all I'm asking. Nothing more, nothing less.
Well, okay, so I will agree with you, Dr. Peabody. Can you come in, please?
I want to go back to what Timothy said. If they are not exposed the president credential, will he have come on the list? But let me say here that the list is just too long, and it seemed like people just went and talk, and they didn't pay anything. So I tell my man, you better go there, you get it this way. Or people were there giving out to key people, like Fagon said, but key people, if you look at the list, there are a lot of people in the government involved. And tell me about it, but I mean, Delaney screw up. He should have come clean on his credential. I saw him writing something today, but he been there a while now. He should have come on the list a long time, not after they expose him. Then he coming over.
We don't know who. We already don't know who put out the list. It didn't say.
Well, there are rumors around that he tried to go after these people, and that's why he was put on. I mean, they try to go after him.
But what we are saying, it didn't say Delaney. That's the point. So,
I mean, but it has been stated. It has been. I mean, Cito. It has been stated that the Liberians do not pay debt. I mean, even that's why you have foreign banks and other people don't want to invest in Liberia, because especially even the American ambassador made it very clear. The only people that he said that pay debt are the people who sell in the market and pay on a very high interest rate.
Have anybody on this set ever missed a credit card payment?
So let me say this.
CEO, before you come in, Ben said something.
Yeah, but let's do it one at a time now. Wait.
Let me end my statement now.
Yeah,
the ambassador made a statement the other day and said that only those married people there who selling that they cold water, ice, and take small loan can pay the debt. But high-profile Liberian official or high-profile Liberian do not pay debt. They go take thousands of loan and they don't pay back. One of the problems we face in our country.
Thank you. Chairman Ben, before we go to Eugene, what's your question, Chairman?
No. I'm asking because it's funny, because I'm laughing because this is, again, guys, banks loan out money to people, right? The reason I'm also asking this question is because I see, and I'm looking at the comment and I'm laughing because half of the people who read the comment, half of somebody they owe their mortgage, they owe their rent.
Oh, Musa better be on the list.
They owe people. But stand on. The point here is,
I think you're not calling him again. Are you calling Musa?
Bank loan out money, and so is this? First of all, is this even legal? That's the first thing.
What's legal? What legal?
Releasing people, releasing this kind of list.
Well, you gotta understand that the list.
The bank put a list up on that wall, then you say if it's legal.
And that's why I asked the question.
No. The way in which we got the list is not sources. It's not the bank. The bank didn't give us any list. And let me say this though. You see some people name being, for
But there's a
example,
breach of confidentiality, though. In a serious note.
somebody name on this list 4 times. It means they borrowed 4 times. Another person name appearing twice, they borrowed twice. And somebody, a permanent figure name on this list, it appeared.
Why you call a prominent? Don't maybe call 7 names that prominent. What do you call a prominent?
No, but on a serious note, though, it's a breach of confidentiality for the on the bank's back. You can't do the People got their own loan agreement differently. You can't do this.
And that is the point that I'm raising here.
Man, the country. It's a joke, man.
Fagon, you know, but Fagon, let me ask you a question. But Fagon, let me ask you a question. Have you ever taken a movie in your life before?
So guys,
have you ever defaulted on a movie?
We are going. Hold on 1 minute. Let somebody finish. Fagon, let somebody finish. We'll come to you, Fagon. No, I beg you, Fagon. You're right. Let somebody finish. Fagon, you're right. Let somebody finish, please. Go ahead,
because shaming the credit, shaming those who are indebted to the bank is just not good.
It's not that's what I'm saying.
It's not a right policy. Even as one of my sisters who's a veteran banker, Celestine, I think she agrees with me. That is that how you do it. This is a lady who worked in the bank for many years in Liberia, and she knows what I'm talking about. It's true. I mean, and she's not for no one. She's an independent person.
So we will discuss this, guys. Before I bring Fagon in, we'll discuss this thing tomorrow. We got more information coming from LBDI. I will share with you guys. On this list, you get 9,232
people.
9,000. No, some names are repeated. If, for example, if Ben borrowed 3, 4, 5 different times, his name will appear 3, 4, 5 different times.
Okay.
So the total, as per the list of people that have borrowed money, whether 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 9,232. Fagon, speak to your fellow Liberians.
You see, this is what we do in our country, and then we come here, we want to speak against corruption. This is not Bank of America, and I beg anyone sitting on this set, this is not Bank of America. This is the Liberian Bank for Development and Investment. You want the country to be developed. People take the bank's money. They are riding BB cars, building BB homes, living. Okay, let me get you some names. The message should be called names. But let's look at those people's lifestyle and what they are doing right now, for which you owe the bank. How my matter will borrow money? How my lopu will borrow money? That ability is supposed to owe bank. That Amin Moda is supposed to owe bank. That Fina Bona is supposed to owe bank. That Emmanuel Shaw is supposed to owe bank. That Mose Koli is supposed to owe bank. Mose Wakoli. What are you guys talking here? This is the Liberia Bank for Development and Investment. Other people need to borrow too. Then you wear Gucci clothes. You walking right behind the president, but you can't pay some of the money so the other people can borrow. Any fairness inside. But soon the people go say that okay, and they borrow 200 from the bank and put a house there for collateral. The bank will seize the people's house. Why you can go seize the other poor houses now? And their farms, and the BB oil company and gas stations.
Somebody your dog.
Look, let me say this here to the Liberian people listening to me. I want to talk to none of my friends on the panel today. That bank is called the Liberian Bank for Development and Investment. The reason why you guys are not having development in your country and you got no investment is because so many people are borrow your hard-earned money. They borrow it. I want to call some people need. How can your need be with one particular bank for borrowing 4 times?
Okay, don't call some people need tomorrow, my brother.
No, but it's hurtful when we try to cut corner around it. How will our people live when one man, because he representative or because he minister, he borrowed 4 times? Go look at his knee. And right now, he was minister before. They send him to the other place here. He pay me again. What you doing with your salary? And God may be president for that bro one day. And you will see what will happen. If I don't take all your paycheck, all your property, and pay it back. You ask me if I borrow, I conclude on this list. No bank get fasting for me. I get fasting for nobody in that bro. I owe no bank. I owe full amount. I owe you.
I say.
Well, so let me say this. Money, you raise a very important point.
My man.
And I know tomorrow, because we'll post this list tomorrow. And I know tomorrow, if this is posted, I have to speak with my team whether it's necessary to post the list.
You post it.
But you forgo. I stand it. So my thing is that at the end of the day, this is scary. 9,232.
One person borrow 4 times.
And you got people borrow this. This other person borrows 6 times. 1, 2,
and you
3,
can't
4,
pay 1
5,
time
6.
But my question though, we have a bank that allows people to borrow this many times. After one time, don't you think they should stop giving people chances to borrow?
Let me say this again. And I hate to sound redundant.
But Ben, before you say, let me ask you a question. Since our sister asked this question,
yeah,
I think in America, that same bank will not borrow you money.
No, but you gotta understand.
In America, that same bank will not borrow
you
you money.
You can't say that. No, but you can say that. You can say that.
Help me. I never borrowed before, so let me help me.
It varies on the bank policy. You got banks. You got banks in this country. Yeah, but that's why I say now, when you say somebody owes, the person can have an arrangement with the bank, right? It's like you have an American Express card and you miss 1 or 2 of your payments, and American Express come back and they put you on a delinquent list. Because it say delinquent means something, maybe it's past due or something. It's 10 days late or 20 or 30 days late. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't mean that you can never get another American Express card. That's all I'm saying.
After 7 years, maybe.
It's not it is not exclusive. That's the point.
Then no bank will borrow you if you are delinquent on your loan. We all live in America, please.
Yeah, man. God.
If you are delinquent on your loan, no bank will borrow you again.
Guys, that's why I said delinquency could be in different formats. The word delinquency doesn't mean that the person has gone bankrupt. The word could be the person has made one or two payments.
Well, okay, then let me just my understanding. And I live in this country long enough to say that there's something called credit report.
Of course.
If you most of the time, in order to get a loan or to credit from a bank, your credit report becomes very instrumental, very important. If you miss your loan and you become delinquent at least 1 or 2 times, it affects your credit report to the extent that it reduces your ability to credit money.
You can never ever borrow again. That's my point.
At times, depending on your credit score. If your
get your credit score back to where it's supposed to be.
Right. But you will not borrow from the same bank system, Ben. That's the point.
Okay.
You are going to
that affects, that decreases your credit score. If your credit score is in 300-400 mark, you're not getting any kind of loan anytime soon. You got to bring that out at least 600-500, or except you get a co-signer. Those are the things I would look at.
The only thing I'm saying here is first of all, we must all understand
that corruption, man.
We quick to throw corruption term around.
That's corruption.
That's the first thing. No, and I disagree with that because there are some first of all, there are confidentiality issues. For me, I'm those issues. The second thing I'm also looking at here is all the people on that list are not politicians. All the people, I understand it's a political football. When time for politics, everybody throwing political football around, right? But all the people on that list are not politicians. That's my point. So we have to be very careful how we go about doing this. That's all I'm saying.
My point to you is, it's a high level of corruption. You borrow money from me. You delinquent on the first payment. I borrow you again.
Somebody put I
You
thought you need
delinquent
charge
now
somebody
until
ain't pay
payments.
child support. They won't can be making the
You,
own people.
you
Because
borrow
they
for the
implement
third
it.
time. Now child supporting we're talking.
No, but I'm just saying
the
there
third
got
time.
people here who the car not get repossessed, the horses have gotten repossessed, then they will not open their mouth.
You stay here with your people. We're talking about Liberia. Stay here with your
No,
people.
but I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying that the
what I'm
hypocrisy
saying
of
now,
Liberians, I don't understand.
went to the bank.
Meanwhile, there's a town hall event taking
You
place in
pay.
Washington, D.C.
You went the second time. You borrow. You didn't
I mean,
pay.
in
You did
Pennsylvania.
the third time.
But let me say this, guys. We
Now you're
gotta
not paying 3. You go to the same bank. You borrow 4. Now you're not paying 4. Then you go 5. That's corruption, Ben.
Fagon, let me ask you this question. Somebody, Fagon, on a serious note, somebody on this list, the information I just got, I will share with you guys. They owe almost 12 million United States dollars on this list.
So that's what I'm saying. Then that's a problem,
Okay.
right?
No, it's something I about to call Samuel Jackson. Yeah. I about to call Samuel Jackson because Samuel Jackson, if you look on this list, I don't know what his name there from LBDI, because somebody confirm. Another person, a big business guy in Liberia, owe $9 million. That's why his name has appeared 4 times on this list. But surprisingly to me, though, they said Miguel owning LBDI, but Miguel's name is not on this list. I was just.
I'm also, as we're speaking, I'm getting documentation from people who say that they don't owe the bank and the name is on the list.
Ben, let me understand something. Am I making a mistake, or can you guys double check? Now, trying to follow Miguel's name is not on this list. They say he was owing LBDI.
LBDI on the voice of Ben Robson. When they come
So if a businessman, and tomorrow when we call that business guy name, owing almost $12 million, what the heck our country is into? That somebody can go take so many money from the bank and they are refusing to pay. Let me bring in Samuel Jackson. I believe his name is on the list, but he asked me to call him.
Easy. There we go.
Sam Jackson.
Hello, Stanton.
Yes, sir. Is your name on the list?
Stanton, how are you? Look, of course, absolutely, and I have no shame in that. I mean, I took a loan. I got cancer, and in fact, I did file bankruptcy in the United States to protect some of my assets. I did that. I have no shame. So I came back to Liberia. I went to the bank, and I made him an offer to reschedule the loan. I made a significant payment, and for the last 5 months, they have not rescheduled the loan. And then let me tell you some other things about the bank. Those multiple defaulters are because Liberia does not have a reference credit bureau, and there's a lot of significant amount of corruption and incestuous relationship between the bank and the borrowers. Okay, so there are many things systemic. There are many things that undermine the financial system in the country that we need to fix. But I can tell you.
Can you tell us how much you owe the bank, Mr. Jackson?
I mean, I took a loan of $21,000, and it went up to $75,000. But
how long that been, Mr. Jackson? How long since you took your loan?
Oh, it was like in 2014, and then I got.
So 2014, almost 8 years.
So hold on a second. Let me explain something to you.
You muted, Stanton.
Yeah.
I'm not muted, Joe.
You went muted.
Go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
Okay, I went to the bank, and they can waive the penalty, but not the interest. Okay, so the amount came down to about like $35,000. I gave them around $5,000 to $10,000, and I have another $25,000. But here is the problem. I'm trying to sell the property, which is collateralized by the loan, and they're telling me some crazy stuff that there's not an arm's length relationship between me and the buyer. But it's like, for example, Stanton, if you are in default on your mortgage in the United States and you put your house on the market to sell, the LBDI is basically saying, you can't sell a house because you owe us money. You can't do that, but you can sell a house. They can pay the loan off, and whatever the balance is, they can give that to you. So it's a whole contaminated banking system in the country. So
Samuel Jackson, your name is on name number 7,655. Samuel Jackson, your name is there. Your number is 7655. Samuel Jackson.
Listen to me. I'm not ashamed of that. Okay? Because I didn't file bankruptcy in the United States because I owe almost like over $70,000, $80,000 when I had cash.
Not a man bank number band. That's the number he need too.
ID number.
Hey, I
ID
was
number.
like,
No, not the man bank number. I can't do that.
That's his ID number.
Yeah.
Stand up.
Yes, sir.
What? First of all, this is not the 16th century where you have debtors jail.
thank you.
Okay? For a bank, a credible bank, to put a list, okay? This is what they are violating the privacy of individuals. If I owe you, you have the right to take me to court to foreclose the property. But to go and put my name and shame me in my own specific case because I have prostate cancer with a Gleason score of 7 when I was almost dying, given 6 months to live, and I have come to you after I recovered and I made a significant down payment and asked you to reschedule the loan, and because of the bureaucracy in your bank, you cannot reschedule the loan, and I put the house on the market. I have a buyer, and the buyer went out to you. They want to go ahead and pay you off, and you tell the buyer that this is not an arm's length. It's just all a lot of DD-bot going on in this country. That's what the problem is.
We're gonna have you on the show tomorrow, Mr. Jackson. We are reaching out to Mr. Donelli, and we will talk. We gotta go, Mr. Jackson. You are Luna on the list. Other names on the list calling us. Mr. Jackson, we gotta go. Other people on the list calling us.
Let me just say something quickly before you go. Okay? Mr. Delaney's falsification of his credentials has nothing to do with my or other people's delinquency. And to tie that together is utter injustice. It doesn't make any sense at all. No sense.
Mr. Samuel Jackson, your number is 7,655 7655. Your name is on the list. We will be talking to you tomorrow, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Jackson. If your name is on the list, please call Spoon Network. We're going to be sharing this list. It's amazing that somebody that called themselves a business tycoon in the country owing almost $50 million and the name is on this list. Who? Go ahead, Ben. We got to wrap this thing up.
Hold on. Go ahead. I have chairmanability on the line since you're calling me. So go ahead.
Oh, hold on. Let me find chairmanability number.
Go ahead, yeah, Mr. Chairman.
But chairmanability, how much you owe?
I call, look, Stanton, you have done an incredible job in trying to create a platform for our country, and everybody is going to it. My advice to you is, as we go towards election, we should be careful so that people don't use it, maybe without your knowledge, without you knowing why they use it. That list is fake. It's not okay. And let me tell you what it is. My name is on that list 4 times. What it means that I have executed 4 loan transactions with the bank in the last 20 years. October this year, I made a decision to get out of the loan. I paid the bank 100%. I got a full clearance from the bank. I have, and again, for privacy's sake, I don't wish to share it, but I have sent this clearance to Chairman Ben Tavi. He has it. And every collateral that the bank had for me has been officially turned over to me and signed onto me. If you go to the bank in January 2000, you borrow, that's number one. It's normally the bank normally borrow for a year or 2. If you pay back and they give it back to you, that's number 2. So when people call and just dash reputable people name on list, my advice is get someone who knows about this stuff, get their views before you start getting it. If your man for going, he just acting like a loose cannon.
No, but it's good that you're just telling us that your name was on the list because you borrowed from the bank. So that is not a fake news. Mr. Jackson just said that his name is on. Mr. Sam Jackson just said.
But he said he already paid it.
But let's talk to the man now.
But he's talking that way, and you were talking. So I was trying to get you.
Whenever you borrow the bank, whether you are paid or not, you are considered as a borrower. And I paid fully. And I just sent the document to Ben Sandy. And my reason for that is to show that someone named being on the bank list of borrower doesn't mean that that person is a delinquent.
So, Mr. Benete, and it's a good thing that you helping to clarify what we are saying. Mr. Sam Jackson came and said, I owe the bank. I'm working to resolve it. That's Mr. Sam Jackson. Yeah. Mr. Benete, you say your name is on the list 4 times. 4 good times. Yes. Does that mean you borrow 4 different times from this one bank?
Yes. I have been doing business with LBDI for over 22 years.
No, sir, I didn't get an answer. Does that mean you borrow 4 different times from this one bank?
Yes, but not at the same time.
So I agree now. I agree. You borrow 4 different times.
Exactly. So whenever you borrow and pay back, that's 1. You borrow again and pay back, that's 2. That means you are doing continuous business with the bank.
So I agree, Mr. Benete. Mr. Benete, I agree.
Transaction history.
Mr. Benete, I agree. Mr. Benete, look like Liberia is part of Africa as a continent, and we on this side, so maybe we're missing something. You borrow 4 different times, and each time you borrow, you must have a 0 balance before you borrow again. Is that how it works?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So now the document that you sent to Chairman Ben Sevi, you are 0 balance, and all your collateral will turn over to you, correct?
Oh, absolutely.
So is the bank in error? Is the bank in error for keeping your name on the list? Though you make, but Chairman, hold on. Now the other people want to ask questions, Chairman. Is the bank in error for keeping your name on the list 4 different times, though you have a 0 balance? Is the bank in error?
I don't know what kind of list it is. It could be a customer list. It could be a transaction history list. So
no, they said list of delinquent borrowers.
That's the point I wanted you to press to Musa.
They said list of delinquent borrowers. They didn't say you pay and we keep your name there. They say you are in delinquent.
You are delinquent.
Okay. So can you clarify with the bank?
So listen, I have sent to them, and I'm authorizing it now to give it to you 2 documents. 1, writing me a formal letter to say that I have paid them fully. The second one, releasing my collateral to me, saying that we no longer need your collateral because you are in full settlement of our. I've sent all that, and that happened in October 2022.
Okay, if you guys have anything to add, I'm done. It's 1 minute.
Yeah. I have something, Mr. Billity. First and foremost, this list that we have did not say people that have certified their loans. It says delinquent customers. Are you aware? Now, if your name appears and you are clarifying for us, but Samuel Jackson came and admitted, and by your own structure on this platform tonight, you also admitted that you took a loan. But however, you are clarifying that you are not delinquent, that you have paid.
No. I didn't use the word delinquent. That I don't owe the bank to be. You can.
Yeah, but that's why they call delinquent. That's not. No. Information. When I waste time.
Yeah, but
no. Everybody
get the bank. That's what I said. You said you owe the bank, meaning you are not delinquent.
No, but Fagon, can I?
$10 million.
And you don't mean it don't mean you're delinquent.
$100,000 every month.
Yeah.
Then you are, when you pay that money, you are not delinquent. Mm-hmm. It doesn't mean you don't owe the bank.
My brother,
Ben,
I don't know why you coming in like this, because if you have paid the bank in full, you will never be delinquent because you don't owe them. The only way you can be delinquent is if you are owing.
They're not PR
So,
work here. Let me explain to you how.
No, don't explain. Let me ask my question.
No, but I have to explain. Don't explain.
No, I have a question for you. My question is before your explanation.
I need to answer the first question. The first
But I didn't ask you a question.
Wrong.
I was setting the case for my question. My question is, and I will still ask my question. Your name appear on the list, and by your own admission, you said when you pay, you take another loan, you pay, you take. That's why it's there 4 times. However, the documents you are supplying us, each individual loan had a collateral. You only got collateral letter for 1 loan. What happened to the other 3? You got the letters?
But bossman, that's not the way the bank works. That's what I'm telling you. You think you don't know? When people want to explain to you, don't jump in it.
Jump? Yourself said our 4 different.
But let him answer the question now. Yeah.
You said our 4 different loans, and each time you pay. Now you're giving us 1 letter and the document for the 1 collateral. I'm asking you for the document and the letter for the other 3 loans and the 3 collateral.
Okay.
Mr. Benete, we would love to have you tomorrow. Our time is up. It's 6:02, 11:02. Mr. Benete, please, Chairman, I beg you. We would love to have you tomorrow, so we got to go.
Let me clarify this, please. 1 minute. When you borrow from the bank, they do not return your collateral as long as you are doing business with them and you are turning over your loan. But every time you turn over your loan, you do a new loan with the collateral in place. The day the bank gives you your collateral and write you to say you don't owe them any money, it doesn't say that you have cleared this loan number 1. If my clearance that I just sent says that I don't owe LBDI any money, and therefore I am free, I owe them 0. And that's
send me the clearance now.
On the phone, man. I was sending it.
You can multitask. You can walk and chew gum.
My man, I was sending it to you. Why are you making it sound like the man's giving me permission?
Musa, send me the clearance. Your brother don't want to do it. Maybe that clearance got 2014 on it. Who knows? Send me the clearance.
I'll give you the go ahead to send it to you, so he will send it to you.
But how you get back? Go ahead and you get my number. What kind of?
Yes, Anthony, stop him, man. Y'all are finishing the thing, man. Yeah, but
no, man. If I get my number, they give me back. Go ahead.
So according to Berete, he used the same collateral 4 times, though. But the clarity I want, he used the same collateral 4 times.
I'm not talking to you.
All right, so can we? So you're finished, right?
Chairman, thank you very much. All right, Chairman, thank you. We gotta go. And on this name, also on the list, also, I think a little bit I was side with Chairman Benete, right? You know why? I am siding with you a little bit. Maybe if I see the final clearance of the letter, it will prove that the man is owing, but his name maybe mistakenly stay on the list, like the sanction list. Maybe the sanction list coming up also, and maybe the man name on this bank list. Let me wrap them. We gotta go. Let me wrap this thing up real quick. Permanent individuals we'll do our closing ban. Just hold on 1 minute. We seen ALP political leader Ben Nigeria name on the list, and all of folks' name on the list. We will be announcing it tomorrow. They can decide whether the name on the list means that they owe the bank or is an error from the bank. Now on that list, it's 9,323 individuals that just collecting money and they cannot pay. But that's what it said, delinquent. Yeah. Delinquent. They say you pay and we just did as history. No. They said delinquent. It means you owing. You owing the bank. Go and pay. And we will call their name.
They said the poor owing bank.
Yeah. The people owing bank. Delinquent. And I'm surprised that so anyway, Dr. Richardson, let's close. You go ahead,
Ben, they said the poor owing Ben. They said the poor owing.
But Ben name is not on the list, so that's good.
Let me start by discussing.
All of y'all, and y'all were talking, y'all open before your life. Y'all will see all of y'all. I come in for all y'all. Yeah, man.
But I'm surprised though. The people say my get all LBDI, my
If
get
we are
on the
doing,
list.
first of all, why are we playing into the hypocrisy of most Liberians?
Is that hypocrisy? If you owe the
It
bank,
is.
you
And
owe all
let
your
me
credit
tell you
card.
what I
If you
mean.
owe all your credit card, guess what? No, we're going to Dr. Richardson. We'll come to you.
Yeah.
If you owe
But then
all
what are you
your
addressing me
credit
for? No,
card,
they
if you
don't
owe all
address
your
me.
credit
When
card,
you
Dr.
address me, then let me
Richardson,
respond.
Dr.
Don't address me.
Richardson,
Don't worry
if you
about it.
owe on the credit card, what do they do?
Don't
They send
address
the
me.
credit
Don't worry.
bureau, right?
Out of
Credit bureau
Richardson.
is a third party. They don't need your permission to say the
Credit
credit
union.
bureau. Let
My
go ahead,
only
man.
thing is,
Go ahead, Dr. Richardson.
No,
Leave them
that
alone.
is Liberian Credit Bureau, yeah.
That's it. Yes,
How
full
about the
Liberian
credit
credit
score?
what are you
bureau.
talking about? Brand credit bureau. Y'all see. All right.
So let me just close by summarizing my point on the president's speech that I stand by.
Let Dr. Richardson lead the speech. Well, let's
Today,
already
my point is, I like to say that I'm very proud of the president. There were about 49 presidents invited to the summit, and Liberia's president, George Manawia, was proudly selected to give a speech, and I think that is an accomplishment. I think that the president read the speech very well compared to other times that showed great improvement in his speech reading ability. On the other hand, if we compare the president's speech and presentation in terms of the fluffiness and the floweriness to the ability to link action and plan, I think the president did not do well in that area, and I stand by that. Um, Having said that, tomorrow I'll be here. I'll be glad for us to explore the list if that's what it is. I want to get more information about it. And lastly, I will urge others to please go and listen to the Sierra Leone's president's speech, and then you can make some comparison and tell me your thoughts maybe tomorrow as well. So thanks. It was a wonderful show. I had a good time today.
Thank you very much, Dr. Francine Chinwe Richardson Special. We appreciate you. Dr. Peabody.
Well, great show. I didn't listen to the president's speech, so I'm not going to comment towards that. But it was a great show. I came in late because you see where I am. I'm still in the office. But what I would say here is that it was great that Chairman Bellady came out to clarify this, because I know some of the opposition are ready to run with it like waterways. So it was good that he came to clarify that. But others, I think there's a need for us to verify that list to make sure it's right before we come up with the names of those on it, because everybody calling and saying that the name is just wrong. So Mr. Johnson and made it up. Johnson, you fly all over the place, you need to pay a bill. So oh, brother. I think we need to verify. So I just joking about my big brother. I think we need to verify our list before we come up. So that when we put it out there, people will know. Let's try to make some clarification. I'm just kind of concerned that Delaney was there for more than I don't know how long. He didn't come on the list until they exposed his degree, and then we saw this. Anyway, thank you. Good night, guys. Have a good show. Bye bye. Good night.
Thank you very much, Dr. Peabody. I think once Mr. Samuel Jackson called to confirm that he owed the bank Fagon, that his name is on the list and he owed the bank. That tells you that this list is somehow confirmed. That is from the bank, and people that are delinquent, the name is on the list. Now, it's up to you to tell the press that, listen, like Mr. Musa Bediti just did, October 24th, 2022, full settlement of indebtedness. This is the letter from LBDI. Folks can verify it. This is to acknowledge that you have cleared all outstanding indebtedness with the Liberia Bank of Development and Investment. Said commercial loan was liquidated on October 23rd, 2022. However, if you have a checking account that you don't wish to continue using, please contact our bank operation department to have said account properly closed as to avoid future charges from occurring. Please take this very serious, otherwise any charges that may occur as a result of abandonment you will be required to settle. Thanks in advance for your understanding. Kind regards. Sincerely yours, J. Richardson Nee Dubois. And Musability I confirm receiving the above specified document signed Musa Hassan Berete. So we leave it open. Musa Berete said, I close the account, everything is done right. I'm a clean man, I'm a free man. On the other hand, Samuel Jackson said, I owe the bank. So it is true. Something is on that list. It's true. We will be discussing it tomorrow. This chief, Saint Tomalin George.
Well, as I said earlier, the president, he did what he was told to, he was required to do in his speech today to the African Summit, the U.S. African Summit, and he spoke within the context of the team or whatever the case. But I think it's up to the Liberian government, the president, and his administration to take advantage of this opportunity and see what will happen in the next few months. But again, unless the president changes his foreign minister and makes some measures, reshuffle his government, if he will continue on the status quo, I don't think there'll be much. I think it will just be the same, and which may affect him. I hope he really take a cue from this meeting and decide to make some serious changes in his government, especially with his foreign minister, who I think is not serving him well, and I don't think he should even be foreign minister at this point. But again, he serves at the will and pleasure of the president, so it's up to him. But he did well in his speech. He spoke at the summit and he represented Liberia well. On the other hand, about this loan, you know, this guy Delani, we may judge him for what concerning his attempt to try to make his resume different, but he was brave enough. To be honest with you, this list have been around for years, more than 20 years, I think. And for he to be this president to be brave enough to come forward to expose all of these things that are happening, because let me tell you what's happening. Some of these reason why you see people getting multiple loans for the loan officers, they get them kickbacks, they give them incentives. If you give me a loan, these are how how you structure the loan and so forth. You get kickbacks, you get incentives from it. Number one. Number two, the bank should not be going after these debtors. Go after the collateral that it made. If I say that if I don't pay your loan so and so date, take my house, then you shouldn't bother me. Go after my house. So the question should be, why aren't they going after the collaterals that these guys and said? And then moreover too, the question will be asked again: what are those who have been those are involved who are getting these loans? Whether the loans are in their names, or how are they arranging the payments and so forth. So the question is, how are they still getting loans and so forth? If he's still if he's still defaulting, why are you still getting loans? A lot of questions to be asked. But if the lender is given opportunity to stay the course, maybe we'll hear bigger things happening. But the issue, and then don't mind you, this list contains some of the president's friends, some of the president of Liberia friends are on this list too. Okay, so you know this it's a big thing. I don't know how long it will go. Just how we said we set up a committee to go after those who owe taxes, and as soon as this guy, Arthur Johnson came out with the first attack, that whole thing got diminished. Today we can hear, but you know how much money they recoup. We don't know it. So that's was a joke. This one again, we don't know whether it will be a joke or just for the time or the political season. We don't know, but we'll see what happens. But so far so good. This list, I hope we can go into it. But again, as I repeat, the bank, they are not doing fair because they are breaching the confidentiality clause in an agreement that they have. You can't be coming up to shaming people who owe the banks. You can't shame them publicly like that. No, everybody loan structured differently, and the repayment plan is also structured in a different form and manner. But to come and publicly shame them, exposing them, I don't think it's fair because I don't think the big guys will take another action on it. So I hope and pray that we tread this issue very, very carefully, and before we get mixed up in the politics or whatever they're trying to do. And lastly, I'm sure we're able to cover the town hall event because I just learned that the president still has not yet arrived, so maybe they were taking a long time for him to come. So, but again, a good show, and man, I'm on my way. Thank you.
So you gotta hang out. Let's close. The Honorable Fagon.
Thank you very much. Let me say this. Let me say this to all the Liberian people listening to me to begin with. I will start off by saying I stand by what I said. The president missed an opportunity to showcase Liberia through his effort. And that's because I monitored the VOA and heard about the plans of President Biden to appoint Ambassador Johnny Carson as the special representative on this outcome of the summit today to make sure there is implementation. Tomari, don't share your hair. You are against what I was telling you first. Me, I am a nationalist. So wait.
Man, come on, man. Talk, man. You gotta go, my man. Hurry up, gotta go.
Over 300 American and African companies are also supposed to benefit. And I look back in Liberia, how many American companies you see there now? Then I turn around. He's also seeking a permanent member from Africa to the UN Security Council. All of these good things are happening in addition to the 55 billion investment. Why didn't my president remind him of that tiny land that they purchased? Why didn't the president remind him of the flag that they designed and tailored in Maryland? Why didn't the president remind him of the pledge before least to say the Constitution that was written at Harvard and our capital city named after President James Monroe? You want to do all these things for Africa, but there's a tiny land there that you owe it to, and you still just keep walking over us. There's a time, and that time will come then when America will be reminded not of our historical ties or the bicentennial that they walk away from, that we squandered and forced them to walk away from, I should say. But that time will come. On the issue of the loan, let me say this: when when Chairman Billete said he's a loose cannon, the school I went to, when they say you on the delinquent list, it means you behind. Now, every loan, I was happy that he pointed out, every loan you take, if you certify that loan, which one of you lady in America will say the bank don't write you to tell you that you don't owe them? You don't owe them. But if the bank said you don't owe them, maybe for the money and the transactional account of that particular loan, it's that particular loan. It's that particular loan. But your name appear 4 times, and you consent to the fact that you took the loan 4 different times. Now you say the collateral remains there. Every agreement is new. That's why they put your name there 4 times. Every amount is different, and your collateral cannot be used. And Dr. Francine may help me out on this one. Maybe my psychology is not correct. How can you take Chairman Billete house for a $25 loan? That collateral there? So we are all educated people here, and I don't want Chairman Billete to feel that we're going after you. Yes, you may give us a document for one loan, but this list told us that the people that appear on it are delinquent. And unless otherwise ordered, I will close by telling you, Stanton, nobody here can say we are not Liberians, but our in Liberia. You see the airwaves? If something come there, I can look at purple and tell you that brown, because that's the message I want to go. But when you come back and check, and deeply check, it will be different. And if Samuel Johnson can say that this list is correct, Chairman Billete came and admitted to the 4 times. Why is Chairman Billete telling us we must be careful? This list is fake. How we managed to know you took loan 4 times? How we managed to know you paid? And now your second tell us 2 persons account and say that true. So what made the list fake? What makes the list fake? It means the list is genuine. So at the end of the day, Stanton, that list you see with Emmanuel Shawnee on it, Finabono ni on it. Mose Wakoli ni on it. Tomorrow, if I analyze that list for you, President, we are government, the opposition people, the people who will be making people more shouting, say they got political party, all of them need on the year, my brother. And at the end of the day, I water it down to one thing for which I'm receiving positive comments from the Liberian people. It can only be corruption. You will not borrow money from me today, you pay again soon. You can't again tomorrow, you pay again soon. You can't again. And I want to say this, Ben, and I'm closing and I'm done. The LBDI is the Liberia's Bank for Development and Investment. Ben, if we want development and investment in the country, one group of people, my brother, Ben, don't laugh. But I think I have my
Whoa, why are you addressing me?
Yeah, because if you laugh, they make me angry more.
Man, don't laugh, man. Don't laugh. I'll put it in the bag. Don't laugh back. Don't laugh back.
One group of people, you just keep taking the money 1 time, 2 time, 3 time, for even though you're not paying you, but you take it. And the people who rather want the money or who need the money can't even take $25. Then Tomali tell me you breach confidentiality for criminals. Criminals.
Thank you, Fagon.
I'm not talking about the people, I won't be clear. I'm not talking about the people who took their loan, small loan, they can't pay. I'm talking about somebody who take 15 million. You a loan. What a man take what I would get, even 25 to buy a bear. What's that, man? Criminals.
Thank you. Ben Sembi.
So let me say this, and I'm not laughing because Fagon, you know, he said he's getting positive reviews from the comments. I just want to remind him that the positive reviews you see here, and you were on the other side defending, they will be cursing your man, they will be cursing your pa. That's the hypocrisy that I'm talking about, right? And that's why I was laughing at when you said, oh, the people were, you know. But let me say this.
The people are fast.
But let me say this, and I do not want, because this is why I've been saying. There is this feeling that going to the bank to go take a loan is a bad thing. This country that we all live in fact, I will repeat what I said earlier. The houses that we're living in, the cars that 99% of the people are driving in this country are taken because they took loan. And this notion that is somebody, and that's why I have my slight disagreement with Fagon. Not full disagreement if you listen to what I'm saying. Not full.
Every day you oral shock off.
There is this notion out there that if you get delinquent, then it means you are corrupt. Not necessarily true. Like Sam Jackson said, he took a loan, he got cancer. Does that mean Sam Jackson is corrupt? I agree with what you guys are saying. There is a fundamental issue probably wrong with our banking sector that we need to look at. But this notion that we have out there, you know, and again, like I said, one of the reasons why I don't even waste my time to talk about this loan business, because I understand we're in the silly season where people play politics and everything. They say, oh yeah, man, you did this, you did it. I don't worry about that anymore. But I will only say this. If we are going to go through this process, I would just urge us to do it carefully and diligently. Because there are different, a list of 9,000 people, even if you got people appearing 4 or 5 times, let's just say 3,000 people. Let's just say 3,000 a list. It's not a small amount of people. And I do not believe that every single person on that list is on that list because he or she is corrupt. I'm not defending anybody on the list. All I'm saying is let us be careful how we go ahead and you know, and critique it and dissect it, because at the end of the day, you know, we all just, you know, it's politics now. So everybody writing, everybody commenting, everybody explaining, acting like somebody, like I said, like I will remind them again, because and I will drop it in the face. Some of them, their cars have been repossessed. Does it mean you are criminal? Some of them, their mortgages didn't pay it on time. Does it mean you are criminal? No. So that's all I'm saying. And they can say anything.
All right.
They can
Chairman, thank you.
They can press my
Thank
go
you.
on the
Let me say this.
Why it means when you say you
Let
are
me
criminal,
close
you
only
keep
one.
going and you take it.
Listen.
But I
Let me
said,
say
I
this
said,
real quick.
and
Let
I'm
me
defending
close.
everybody. I said,
Chairman Ben, Dr. Richardson, Timothy George, the Honorable Eugene Fagon, Dr. Peabody, want to say it's a beautiful show. Thank you all. I'd like to take this time to wish my beautiful mother-in-law, Madame Kluba Bobat, a wonderful happy birthday today. You know, she's somewhere, you know what, the old man called drivers, I went eating first. Then we're going to talk about the celebration. But I'd like you guys to join me. Let me sing a happy birthday song to her. Kluba Mobile, Mr. Kotu Mobile wife. Today is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful birthday. So then while we do that, I'm going to just cut this thing real quick. A beautiful speech by the president, George Manawia. You know, he did it. That was great. And I hope that he can continue to advocate and lobby on behalf of himself and the government. I think he would do a better job than those that are doing it for him. That was a great engagement. And also, I would like to say that having said that on the president's speech, we'll move on to talk about this loan thing. This is what somebody sent me. Collateral isn't meant to relax you in paying a loan off. It's just a guarantee to ensure the bank. So people put in their houses, their everything on that stuff to say, yes, it's my collateral. Listen, they owe the bank. They owe LBDI. They need to pay. We will call the names tomorrow. If they have any letter like Musa ability, let them bring the letter out. They owe the bank. They need to pay. We have the names. We'll call their names tomorrow. We'll have a wonderful show tomorrow. Again, I want to say thank you all. Join me. Let's sing a wonderful happy birthday song to my dear mother-in-law, Kluba Mobile. All right. Chairman Ben, you met an old man before, St. Thomas and George. You did. Honorable Fagon, you did. And you know what, how it is, how you're going to end up tonight. But I want to say happy birthday to our dear mother, Kluba Mobile. Dr. Richardson, you singing this song?
Yeah, but just start. Happy birthday.
We are going to pause and you
You're
sing it.
You're raising it.
Yeah.
But that Richardson, you got good for us. You raise it.
Happy birthday.
Birthday
Oh,
to you.
Happy
Happy
birthday
birthday to you, ma'am.
Happy
Birthday.
So I want to sing with him with the orchestra.
Happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
Happy birthday
you.
to
Happy
you.
birthday, dear mommy. Happy birthday.
Birthday to you.
May God bless you. May
Happy
God
God bless you. May God bless you. May God bless you, Mama. Happy birthday to you.
Beautiful singing, and I wish her many more years to come. May God bless her, guys.
Next
It's a
time,
wonderful
maybe
show.
we just play the happy birthday song for the woman because the thing I beg you.
You now singing there.
You got to do it. The thing we just did, Gerard. I swear to God, oh myself, boy,
But listen, guys, a beautiful show. And I will share this though. I'm going to share the rest of the information with you guys concerning this bank thing. It's deeper, it's bigger, and it's wider than any one of us thinking on right now because this is horrible for Liberia. LBDI needs help, and the whole banking institution, Liberia Bank for Development and Investment, the amount of money they get out there is more than the country budget. Yeah, the budget. And somebody need to pay the bank back. I want to say thank you, James Kubude. Thank you for producing. Aaron Kuben, thanks. And no, we are not going to town hall. Spoon is not at the town hall.
Somebody got kicked out of the town hall.
We want to say y'all have a good day, and we'll see you tomorrow.
You're trying to ignore my conversation.
Bye. Bye, Georgie.
People won't go to the town hall to kick it up.
Okay, well, folks, thanks for following. And this is how we love to end this edition of the program Spoon Talk. My name is Aaron, and I've been here with the entire team. Hope you can join us tomorrow for another edition of the program. Thanks for following as usual, and Baba for mine.
What is happening